not to like get too personal, but like I was like, do you watch football? He's like, no. I was like, so what do you do on Sundays?
He like hangs out with his family.
He was like, I'll take like a walk like in Central Park.
Yeah.
I'll do like shopping, get the laundry done. I'm like, holy. I basically was talking to an alien. I was like, that's so fascinating. On today's Part of My Take, Week 12 in the NFL, what we thought was going to be a boring Sunday was anything but. We start with fastest 2 minutes, then we get into every game. Some contentious moments on the podcast. Very fun show. Getting you ready for Thanksgiving week, and it's brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. Looking for the best way to win huge prizes during one of the best NFL weeks of the year? Look no further than DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. This Thanksgiving, you can play free for a $1 million top prize. That's right. Any customer, new or existing, can play free for the $1 million top prize with their next $5 deposit. Make it a really happy Thanksgiving with DraftKings. All customers download the DraftKings app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE to play free for a shot at the $1 million top prize only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Also, I will be doing a Monday night parlay starting this Monday night, starting tonight when you're listening to this. So check it out on the DraftKings app. You can find it there, but go make it a really happy Thanksgiving with DraftKings. All customers download the DraftKings app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE to play free for a shot at the $1 million top prize only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by DraftKings. Make it a really happy Thanksgiving with DraftKings. All customers download the DraftKings app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE to play free for a shot at the $1 million top prize only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Today is Monday, November 25th, week 12.
Huh?
Some spread.
Let me be the first to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving.
We start in the Windy City where Jordan Addison Ray was red hot tick-tocking around the field past the Bears defense. Minnesota kept finding the end zone when Jalen Naylor, hardly even know her, Teej, a little guy humor there, scored in the second quarter. Long Island Ice TJ Hawkinson exposed a lot of really bad decisions by the Bears coaching staff, but just when you thought it was over, Caleb Williams, Roshan Moreno Johnson for a touchdown, and the Bears took it to overtime where John Don't Call Me Tony Romo sealed the win for the Vikings. Vikings 30, Bears 27.
Over to New York, where Tommy Danny DeVito got beaten by the Mayman. Fighter of the G-Men. Throwing blocks on downfield runs. Master of Italian hand gestures for everyone. Mayman. Mike Evans-Bacon was getting 6 degrees of separation from defensive backs as White and Tucker both scored. The first time a White Tucker was prominently featured since Silence of the Lambs. The Giants love the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. Bucs 30, the Giants 7.
We head down to Houston where the Texans got in the holiday mood, starting the scoring with a touchdown to Cade Stover, top stuffing into the end zone. The Titans were rolling until Jimmy Ward Manuel flipped the game, and it looked like the Bryce was right for the Texans, but not so fast, as Irish Chig Okonkwo dancing in the end zone, conquering the Six Flags and Seven Nation Army of Texas. C.J. Orlovsky sealed the deal as he was unable to color between the lines, stepping out for a safety dance. Titans 32, Texans 27.
We go to the nation's capital where DB Cooper Rush has hijacked the Cowboys season, escaping with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Kayvonte Turpentine took the polish off the Commanders season after he did a whip and ran 99 yards for a touchdown. But contrary to Mike Florio's reporting, Washington wasn't dead yet, as Terry Bradshaw McLaurin ran for a touchdown, only to have Austin Oldman and the Seabird put an end to this depressing short story by missing a hook and making a really nice catch completely disappear. The Cowboys 34, the Commanders 26.
We head over to Miami, down to Miami for Henry Lockwood on the scene for the Patriots Dolphins.
Yes, boom. Down to Mayo, where Jay Mayo and the Pats took on the Dolphins. The scoring started early for the Finns after Mr. and Mrs. Janu Nanu 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 Smith found his way into the end zone for 6. During an interview after the first quarter when asked, "What do you expect to see in the rest of the game?" Mike McDaniel answered, "Tua's going off the rails for 2 TDs to Devin A. Chain." And he was right. Drake May showed more flashes of brilliance, including a 4th down scramble out of the pocket touchdown pass to Austin Tongan Yahupa. But the Pats couldn't block a cold or stop a slant and fell to the mighty Finns, 34-15.
Thanks, Hank. In Carolina, where Noah's Gray Anatomy and Dr. Kareemi Hunt had several long-running series, and it looked like the Chiefs were going to take the Panthers to the ER on Sunday. But they forgot about Bryce Young Thug, who has been living life like a beginner, but this is only the beginning, as the Panthers clawed back.
We'll see if he's allowed in Atlanta week 18, boom.
We got a Rico charge, huh? Rico. But they left too much time for Patrick Mahomes and Spencer Schrader Tots, who hit the game-winning kick. And how do the Chiefs keep getting away with this? Chiefs 30, Panthers 27.
Out in Las Vegas, where Cortland Sutton on the dock of the Bay and Bodis Redding Knicks produced nothing but hits on Sunday. The Raiders need a miracle Abdullah as he scored Sunday, showing signs of life for their offense. But the Raiders kept going back to Will Lutz get it on for 5 field goals, leaving Raiders owner Mark Vingavis unhappy with his team's record for another year. The Broncos 29, the Earth 19.
In Seattle for an NFC West clash, as Michael McDonald reminded people what a fool believes he sees, as some people wrote off this Seattle Seahawks defense early in the season. James Conner Roy and the Conheads were bottled up early as Kyler Bill Murray begged his offense to rush more, unable to get the ground game going. Jackson Smith Najigba Bowie was Robin giving the Cardinals defense fits all afternoon, and the game swung on a Kobe Bryant pick 6 as Seattle climbs to the top of the West. Baba Booey, that was giving me trouble.
Jackson Smith, Najig Baba Booey.
Mashed potatoes. Seahawks 16, Cardinals 6.
To the frozen tundra where Josh... Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move the lips. It's a bunch of gibberish. Motherfuckers act like they forgot about Jay Cubs. Scored 3 times, and the 49ers proved it matters when your quarterback is out, as Brandon Allen played the game with vomit on his sweater already, and Kyle Shanahan is going to be writing some very sad letters trying to get Brock Purdy to notice how bad this team is without him. That is Kyle Stanahan. Packers.
Jackson Smith, Najig Babooey.
Packers 38, the Niners 10.
Kyle Stanahan.
Standing on the corner, Jameis Winston, Cuyahoga, such a fine sight to see. Victory comes from the Lord while the horse prepares for war. Snow football kicks ass on TV. Hey, Jerry Jeudy, he did his duty. Russell Wilson runs like something's up his booty.
Cleveland wins. I forgot the score because it was Thursday night, but Jameis deserved a song.
Snow football.
Something
Teej.
romantic.
There's something that makes you feel good about the world when there's snow and football on TV and you watch it.
And turkey. All right, that was the fastest 2 minutes, brought to you by our friends at Chevy. There's a reason we've never done a Mount Rushmore pickup trucks, and that's because, for Pardon My Take, there's only one pickup truck the Chevy Silverado. Why is that? Silverado's a partner you can depend on. We've all spent time driving and using the Silverado for all kinds of pardon my take jobs, adventures, and other shenanigans. Silverado has been our ride for a cross-country trip to the Super Bowl. Silverado helped us dig the biggest hole ever in the state of Ohio last year at Grit Week, and Silverado helped us give fullbacks the recognition they deserve with the Low Man Award. And this year, Silverado's out west with our latest Grit Week. Silverado brings the Grit 2 legendary grit paired with modern truck tech, inside and out, massive screens, up to 8 cameras with 14 different views to help make driving, towing, and parking all easier. We love the bold, blacked out look of the new Silverado HD Trail Boss. So head on over to Chevy.com to build your own Silverado or Silverado HD and check out all the current offers on Silverado. Discover a world of strength and capability all behind the wheel of our favorite truck, the Chevy Silverado. Okay, week 12 in the books. Crazy weekend. We thought it was going to be Sunday. We were like, oh, man, these games kind of suck. A lot of big point spreads. But we had chaos.
That was the most chaotic witching hour of the year.
Yeah. Well, the most chaotic, like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was basically that ending 10 minutes of both of our games was just made no sense. So we should start with the Cowboys 34, Commanders 26.
I'm glad that we're starting with this because I feel like I gotta get some things off my chest, and it's more productive if I speak on them now than if I hold them in. So there's two facets of this game I want to discuss. One is the play on the field. Mm-hmm. I'll get to you in a second, Hank. The Commanders aren't a very good football team right now. The offense looks disjointed. It looks like chaos. They look nervous, panicky on offense. This might be the Cliff Kingsbury cliff that seems to happen every season. I don't know. The first three quarters and like 90% of the fourth, the offense couldn't really do anything. Looked off schedule. A lot of drops again. 6 drops again today from our wide receivers. I think what's happening is we're just not a very good football team. And I said out loud, it wouldn't surprise me if we missed the playoffs. Because we're not playing it. We're a 10.5-point favorite during this game.
Yeah, the Cowboys were dead going into this game. The Cowboys had $100 million in cap space on IR going into this game.
Yeah, and then they also left some people at home.
Yeah.
Just said, like, don't bother making this flight. Just hang out, watch on your couch. So I thought that this should be a game that we should win and win decisively. Our offense looked bad. Our defense didn't look great. We managed to make some weird shit happen in this game. Brendan Aubrey missed a couple kicks. Had one blocked a punt. And yeah, it was the Cowboys. They had a blocked field goal attempt, a blocked punt, a missed field goal attempt, and 2 fourth-quarter kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Yeah.
The special teams was crazy in this game.
Yeah, there's 2 missed extra points.
And it was
in addition to that.
It was a bad, boring football game for most of the game, too.
And then there was 31 points scored in the last 3 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yeah, so watching the first half, I said was like watching a drunk man try to build a car. And then the final 5 minutes was like watching that man drive that car. It was insane ending to the game. The last 5 minutes, I felt like I was out, back in, out again. There were kickoff returns for touchdowns. Credit to Turpin for hitting like the spin move from hell against us.
Yeah, Kevontae Turpin, who he dropped the ball and it looked like he was going to get just killed for at the 10-yard line. Hits one spin move and then just finds a seam and is gone.
I feel like dropping kickoffs and punts is actually a good thing more often than not.
Yeah,
it's like every time you see a guy flub it initially, something good happens to them. And I blame Sam Schwartzstein. For reinventing the kickoff policy of the NFL. I stand with President Trump when saying that the new kickoff looks disgusting. Bring back the old one. And this has nothing to do with me getting burnt by one today. But then that happens.
Well,
2 today, excuse me. Then Jaden Daniels hits Terry McLaurin for an 86-yard touchdown with 26 seconds left or whatever it was. And I was all the way back in. They brought me back in after watching a game that we didn't deserve to win, ever. We played very, very poorly. And I was all the way back in, and then Austin Siebert goes out there and pulls one left. And then I yelled at Hank. Excuse me, I yelled at Hank the first time after
The touchdown.
after the Turpin spin move. Because I could tell.
No.
Dude, you don't get to reframe this. No,
I mean,
no.
I'll state the facts of what happened.
No.
I want to hear the facts.
This is on
but
record.
Big Cat, he's not going to state facts.
I want to hear what he has to say.
He's not going to state facts.
I was in the room.
Live
I was in the room,
streamed.
so I'll
It's
tell you
on
if they weren't
record.
facts. Okay, go ahead, Hank.
There was no animosity. Then PFT in his state of jubilation after the touchdown, it wasn't enough for everyone to high five him, pat him on the back, like, "Oh, great."
I
great.
got left hanging for a
He
little bit.
turned around and goes, "Fuck you, Hank. You're mad right now. You're mad."
Again, these are
out of nowhere.
I'm not letting you reframe this.
Wait, we have the clip.
I know.
No,
Let's just play the
no.
clip.
But that happened. Yes, that happened. But this is where Hank gets you with the details, and he tries to screw you all up. So he doesn't get to reframe this. I'm over here trying to take accountability.
I was smiling.
I'm taking accountability for my bad team's bad performance. We're not a good football team. Our roster's not that great. I was excited. We were overperforming the expectations early in the season. Now I will tell you,
we're talking about one game.
We're talking about this game.
The Commanders are just not a very good football team. Okay, so I want to get that out there. I'm telling you, we're not good. Fraud alert, yes, I will accept those charges, whatever the case may be. What Hank did, I could tell throughout the fourth quarter, based on Hank's reactions to things, that he, for some reason, was rooting against the Commanders. And I noted that. I made notes of that. And then when Turpin had that touchdown, I could tell he was excited about that. That's why when Terry McLaurin scored that touchdown, I looked at Hank and he had an oh shit smile on his face. Like, I have to pretend to be happy, but I'm not actually happy. That's when I told Hank to politely suck my dick.
Football rocks! Football rocks! Football rocks! Shit! Football! Terry McLaurin, Tim. He said he's waiting for the quarterback.
You're not happy.
We're back in the playoffs!
You're not happy.
We're back in the playoffs!
You're not happy. Fuck Hank. Yeah, suck my dick.
Wow,
the boys are back.
incredible.
I love football, and that was one of the greatest football plays I've ever seen.
See, this is a lie.
Was it not?
Hank,
Which one?
The kick return.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
Like, I reacted, and I was like, that was sick because it was sick.
It was sick.
For only that reason.
It was, yeah. I wasn't
He's
like,
a football
fuck
fan.
yeah, Cowboys. I was just like, that was sick.
So I made.
Nor was I like,
I made
oh, fuck.
little tiny mental
the Commanders
notes.
went up. Or not went up. Almost tied the game when they almost did. There was no emotion
little tiny
whatsoever.
notes in the back of my head the entire day, being like, okay, Hank's rooting against me for whatever reason. That's fine. He puts the teams that are playing against the Commanders in the hungry dog all the time. That's the game is the game.
That's not true.
Well, I don't begrudge you for that. That's fine. That's you can. I'm not going to tell you how to do the hungry dog. That's your baby. You've raised that baby.
How to do today?
That baby's dead.
It's up on the season.
Okay. Decades?
The baby is not helping.
Up on the decade?
It's up. What week is this?
Yeah, we judge on decades here.
What week is
According
it?
to Stu Feiner.
12?
12.
It's up 2 units.
There we go.
Okay, so I'll never begrudge Hank for putting a team in the hungry dog. That's whatever he wants to do. Whatever. I understand. It's all good. But today, the Commanders and the Cowboys, that was not part of the hungry dog, but I knew. I could tell by Hank's little reactions that he has that he was rooting against me for some reason. I couldn't quite suss it out. And then he started doing I can't exist? You're just attacking me for no real reason whatsoever. And I realized I was wrong last week when I took Hank's side against Big Cat. Because this is what Hank does. This is who he is.
PFT turned to me
It's
like
who
and
he
was like,
is.
"We'll save for the show," but you were right. And I was
Deep
like, I
down-
knew I was right.
Deep down in his core, this is
Crazy.
because he was gaslighting me,
Correct.
making me feel like I
Correct.
was crazy.
Correct.
For reading his facial expressions and like I was reading in his stuff that wasn't happening. And oh, poor little Hanky, I'm looking at his sweet little innocent face. I'm coming home and I'm beating my child. And no, it's because my child, little Hanky, has been home all day trying to start fires while I'm gone. And then he's like, oh, what, me? And when Memes does it, when he's out there looking for clips of me being upset about bad things that happen, that's fine. That's Memes' job. He's doing a good job at his job. When Hank's a hater, he does it for the love of the game. Which is, don't stop. I can't trust a word you're saying. Everything.
I don't know.
When Hank talks in this episode, I would like there to be a little closed captioning that
Community
just
notes?
Says, yeah, community notes that just says, this is a lie. Do not believe Hank. Do not believe his lies. So then after the game,
This is content. I mean, we're talking content right now.
When Hank is being all sweet and innocent, he lets it slip.
I didn't let it slip. I said it.
That he put in a bet last week for the Commanders to not make the playoffs. And like I said earlier, we might not make the playoffs. We're not that good. But you just did it out of pure hate. No. Out of pure hate. Pure hate is why you did it.
You're way too emotional. You're way too emotional, PFT. You're being way too emotional. That was strictly just the Commanders are bad.
I'm right
like
about
that's
you.
not you're taking it personally. I'm just looking at it analytically and just looking at the team on the field. They're not good. They lost to Cooper Rush, 10.5-point favorites. They lost. I mean, again, they beat the Bears, but like in my mind, that was a loss. Like they're not good.
Can you at least, Hank, just admit this part? From the outside looking in,
there's one other element.
Commanders to not make the playoffs bet is the most hater bet of all time.
It's the most hater. You can't get any more hater.
I didn't even know they listed it.
Yeah.
You went deep into DraftKings to find that bet.
Hank might have asked Jack McCarthy to get that bet up just so he could do it. You might have invented that bet, Hank.
There was one other part of the bet. See, this is where I was thinking, and again, like you say, I'm just doing it purely for just to troll. Like I do it for the love of this podcast and the game and what could the best content be. And at the same time, I could show you the bet slips. At the same time I put that bet in, I put in the Patriots to make the playoffs. This was 2 weeks ago when I thought that there was a path where if the Patriots could make the playoffs and the Commanders don't, that would be the best content for the show. Obviously, the Patriots aren't going to, but that was
when I put
no.
Okay, so it's two separate bets.
Two separate bets, but like
it's a good bet and a bad bet.
Yeah.
No, I think hey, you like Sharon Stone in Casino.
I don't understand. Like this is your team and your game. Like I'm completely separate. I was completely separate. I wasn't rooting for or against. And then somehow
this would be a pretty key loss. This would be a pretty key loss for you to have in your back pocket to lose this game against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Fact or fiction.
For sure.
So when I was picking up on your little tiny micro facial expressions, I was 100% correct.
I was sitting behind you,
and then you made me feel like I was insane for picking up on that.
The suck my dick was unwarranted.
You deserved it.
No, I didn't.
You did. Yes, you did.
In hindsight,
well, he didn't know at the time.
That's what I'm saying. You found out a fact afterwards that justifies it, but it did not. It was not justified at the time.
Because I knew there was a reason. I knew you were rooting against them.
That's convenient for you to say and for you to have, but like that's not how it works.
Don't believe the word Hank says.
I for one feel vindicated because PFT turned to me and was just like, "Hey, you were right about Hank," and I was like, "No shit, I was right about Hank. I've known this guy for his entire adult life." I've known Hank since he was 18 years old. It's not that he's rooting like specifically against your team. What he's rooting for is for maximum pain for everyone. That's what it is. So it's not.
I care about the listeners.
Yeah, it's not PFT. If it makes you feel a little better, it's not. It's not like
it's not for me.
It's not like he's personally attacking any one of us. He's personally attacking all of us at the same time. Like he wants all of us to have pain on air at maximum amount of time. So it's like it once you can realize it's not totally personal, he's just like the Grinch. He's the Grinch. And he just wants us to his heart grows bigger as we get more depressed.
Hank, you're not talking right now.
So that's false.
That's all
partially true.
That's all true.
There's partial truth to it, but there's
here's the thing about Hank is he is allowed to root for that for the betterment of the show. No problem with that at all. But then he makes these sneaky little bets to personally profit off of it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to put that in. And then when I pick up on his excitement towards my misery, then he tells me that I'm a liar and that I can't pick up on anything. And then I find out later that yes, I was 100% right. And then Hank's making me out to be the bad guy, and poor little sweet innocent Hank is getting attacked by Big Cat and PFT for no reason other than existing whatsoever.
Never said that.
I can't fight a battle against a liar.
No, I'm not a liar. I will say
again,
part of what Big Cat says is true. However, and if you go back to the early season, like I want what I do care ultimately not about myself but about this show and the listeners. And
thank you, Hank.
I would love it. Would truly from the bottom of my heart love it if anyone on this team, maybe besides the Jets and maybe besides the Eagles, so pretty much everyone in this podcast to go on be a legitimate contender and go on a playoff run. If I thought the Commanders could do that, I would bet on them to do it. If I thought the Bears could do that, I would bet on them to do it, and I would root for them to do that. They're not. And that's not my fault.
I agree that they're not.
And with that being said, now that it's like they're kind of in the playoff contention, it's like, what's the best content for the show? They're definitely not going to win the Super Bowl this year, so they might as well flame out because it would be funny to watch you crash out as you have. I sat in the studio for 20 minutes in dead silence. It was the most awkward 20 minutes of my life before we started recording the show.
Wait, before I came down here?
Silence.
I didn't want to say anything until we started.
We've done this same thing hundreds, probably thousands of times, and there's usually some level of banter or
I care about the
conversation.
listeners.
Nothing.
I care about the listeners.
Nothing.
And I want them to hear the real conversation. And because because I care so deeply, and Hank, you'll agree, it's important to care about the listeners.
You're mad at the Commanders. You're taking it on me.
No.
That's what this is.
It's so great that like it is great because
You're a piece of shit.
Like I always knew that Kaiser Soze was with us, and it took today for PFT to realize like, oh shit, he literally turned to me and was just like, yeah,
he's real.
Everything you said is right.
But why can you say they're not going to make the playoffs, but I can't?
That's true.
No,
you're
allowed to say that.
But you did say it.
But then you made a sneaky bet and then denied.
It wasn't a sneaky bet.
When did you make the bet?
It's on DraftKings. When did you make it?
You
can follow all of my picks.
When did you make
the
it?
DraftKings betting group. I'm not hiding them.
When did you make the bet?
2 weeks ago. I'll look up the exact date.
It was when PFT still thought they were going to make the playoffs. Which they still very much could make the playoffs.
And also at the same time, Hank was saying that he might put a bet on the Commanders to win the Super Bowl.
I also have the Commanders to win the Super Bowl. So are you? So like, what is it? That's what I bet that on November 5th when I thought they could do it.
Okay. All right. So Hank,
I thought they could do it. Then I watched them almost lose to the Bears, and then I realized like they're just not that good. And so on November 14th. I bet them not to make the playoffs.
Okay, so the sneaky
bet
aspect
At the same exact
comes
time,
in,
I bet the Patriots to make the playoffs.
The sneaky bet aspect doesn't come from you making the bet. It comes from you acting like I'm crazy and I'm attacking you for no reason. For accurately understanding where your heart was in this game.
But I wasn't rooting. I wasn't outwardly rooting for it. Like
you were trying not to, but you were. I picked up on it.
We have the clips. I mean, we can review. We can do all 22. Like. There was because I really didn't care one way or the other.
You weren't outwardly rooting. You were inwardly like Mincy rooting for it.
Like I was just sitting there. It was more just like you turned around. It's like you're mad. I was like what?
You were upset. I picked up on that. So
I was smiling.
Well, see your little whispers and everything. So Hank, since you care deeply about the listeners, I do. I also do care very deeply about the listeners, and I hope that they enjoy whatever roller coaster we're on. I thought about a hater bet to contradict Hank's hater bet, but a bigger hater bet simply doesn't exist. Than what Hank has done. It's impossible to. I'd have to make my own.
Celtics don't make the playoffs would crush me.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But I do care about the listeners, so I decided to release the Drake May Lighthouse shirt. Now we can't sell the shirt because it's graphic, but what I would like to do is I would like to drop the graphic for the Drake May Lighthouse shirt. And then if any listeners make their own shirts, I will choose 5 of them and give them $100 cash.
That shirt shouldn't be released.
It's not released. Oh, we can't sell it.
No, I know. The graphic shouldn't be released. It's quite unsettling.
It is unsettling.
Yeah, I mean, you're a sick mind for making it. You're holding it over my head forever. I don't really care when you release it. Okay. It's an indictment on you for releasing it, so that's fine.
Okay.
And coming up with it.
I think it was a group effort when Hank said we sleep in May.
I can't remember.
Well, I had nothing to do with it. I promise you that.
I'm uncomfortable with the graphic.
I mean, like I said, you're gonna hold it over my head forever. So it's like just release it. Like I
don't release it now. Just keep holding it over his head. Because then you lose the power.
But what about the listeners?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll make. I mean, I guess they could make a shirt.
Yeah, you can make your own
Hank
shirt.
getting by a lighthouse.
I think it's Hank. I think Hank might be having with Drake May with the lighthouse.
What?
Because it's we sleep in May.
Drake May's in it.
It's that.
It's very.
I thought it was a lighthouse going up your.
I think Drake May is
holding the lighthouse. His is the lighthouse.
Something like.
I don't even remember this graphic.
That's convenient.
Well, no, I don't. I think I saw it a total of 1 time. I wasn't the one who commissioned it. Well, let's see it. I want to see it now.
I'm looking it up. Let's see.
We should just put it up on the. We should put it up on the video of the. Let's put it up on the YouTube and the Rumble so people can see it if they're watching and they can use it.
We're releasing the graphic.
Yeah, we're releasing the graphic on the video. So if you're listening right now on the podcast, go watch it as well so you can see the graphic. Let's find the graphic.
We probably can't put that on YouTube.
Why? We can blur it.
Okay,
we'll probably blur it.
Blur the entire thing.
Yeah, we'll blur it.
Yeah, we'll have to blur it a little bit.
That's President Pug.
Sexual.
Sexual? Because of sexual?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so at the end of the day,
can I see it? I haven't seen it in forever. I can't remember what it looks like.
Let's see. It looks like they made an addition to it.
Okay. When you say they, that's you.
No. They did after the Ryan Whitney polar bear fiasco.
So it's Hank Drake May.
Yeah, I think it should
Drake
be,
May probably is not going to love that one.
It should be the lighthouse going up Hank's ass.
Sorry, yeah, you want to jeopardize my future with my favorite QB? I'll keep that in mind.
The moral of the story is the Washington Commanders are not a good football team, and Hank actually might be right. He might be right to put the bet in because we're not a playoff team. The way that we're playing in the last 3 weeks, not a playoff team. Not very good. Roster not very good. Season in jeopardy. But if you were to tell me that we would have 7 wins this season back in September, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't play that game because you were 7-2.
We were 7-2.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Now, having a rookie quarterback is a roller coaster, and it's not easy. And I've gone through some very, very big downs and had a few ups. Bo Nix has kind of done the same, where he had some downs early, then he's looking up. He's probably should win Rookie of the Year. Hank, you've had some up and downs with Drake May. Jaden Daniels has had to start was all ups. It's been down. What do we say about that?
He hasn't played great, but he has had a lot of drops, and the offense as a whole has not looked good. Okay. I would put like 30 to 40% of the responsibility on Jaden Daniels.
No concern.
No, long term, no concern. The betting market right now, I haven't checked it since these games started. I was going to say that I think as of right now, Bo Nix should win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He's been better for a longer period of time than Jaden, even though he got off to that electric start. And he also benefited from some, like a primetime performance on Monday Night Football.
And you nerfing the Pepsi Award.
And the Pepsi Award, which Bo Nix has dominated recently. So Pepsi Award might be a great indicator of who ends up winning Rookie of the Year. I don't think that the race is over by any means.
No, but Bo Nix is playing the best ball right now.
He's playing the best ball right now.
And Jaden Daniels has not. He was on an unsustainable stretch to start, and it was as lights out as you could get, and it's been not as lights out recently.
Yeah, I agree. He has not played nearly as well in the second half of these 12 weeks as he did in the first half. And so it's a little concerning, but ultimately I don't think that anything real. The thing that changed with him was the injury, and now he looks like he's healthy for the first time. He was running pretty well today. I think he had 70 yards rushing. He looked fast. He didn't have any problem with his mobility today, so that is no longer the issue. But that was a part, I think, of the last 3 games before today.
Yeah, because it felt like the offense didn't get going until the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like you guys were kind of stuck in mud for a long time. And it was also not being able to run the ball.
Yeah, we couldn't run the ball. Brian Robinson, it looked like his knee got exploded in the first quarter, and then he came back and obviously wasn't healthy. But yeah, we struggled to run the football today. Offensive line had 2 injuries on it. It was a bad day. It was a bad day to be a Commanders fan against a team that I was hoping that we would be significantly better than, and we're just not. You can't say, looking at the rest of the schedule for the Commanders, you can't say that we should win any of these games. Like, we have the Titans at home. If you'd asked me last week, I'd be like, that's a win.
Yep.
Now I'm not so sure that it is.
Yeah.
We've got the Falcons at home. I can't count on that being a win. We got the Cowboys week 18. That's not a win anymore, obviously, because we just lost to them today. So, yeah, things are not great.
Listen, I think Jaden Daniels will be fine overall. It's just this is what happens with rookie quarterbacks, and we're going to talk about C.J. Stroud next. Like, that's what happens with young quarterbacks, ups and downs. Like, where it's like it's just 1 week it feels great and 1 week it doesn't. Also, shout out Cooper Rush because he did play well.
He did.
He was very good, and he was back to like being a competent Cooper Rush backup. And the Cowboys in general, like, they were dead. They were dead man walking. The last few games they've been getting killed. So this is kind of like the any given Sunday. Micah Parsons actually kind of right because he said he was like, I think we're better than what we're showing, and they played better today. And the defense was pressuring Jaden Daniels all day, and the Cowboys, like, this is still going to be a horrendous Thanksgiving game, Cowboys Giants. But maybe not as much on the Cowboys' part as it is on the Giants' part.
Also, credit to Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
The team didn't quit.
He was so mad that, what's his name, ran in that onside kick.
Yeah.
Because that really was so stupid.
He should have gone down at
the game was over.
The 10-yard line. He should have just gone immediately down. And the game's over, and said we had a chance for another Hail Mary at the end, and that would have been incredible. But, Mike McCarthy coached a really good game. The guys were ready to play. Except, what is going on with Ezekiel Elliott? Whenever he gets the ball, I don't even think that he runs with the ball anymore.
No.
I think he just gets it and kind of walks forward and gets tackled, and then he's like, all right, paycheck.
Yeah.
It's very strange watching him get carries.
Yeah, he's old and bad. Okay. Anything else on this game, Hank?
No. Congrats to the Cowboys. Good win.
Good bet.
No, there's a lot of games to be played.
So Hank's bet might end up being a good bet.
What were the odds?
It probably is a good bet.
Plus 400.
Oh,
It probably is a good bet.
it's good value.
However, the sneaky aspect of the bet is where I realized
that was
that
publicly
Hank's
posted.
his entire veneer of being right down the middle and being good guy Hank, bad guy Hank, bad guy Hank.
Wait. When did I ever say I was right down the middle?
Bad guy Hank,
I've never said I'm right down the middle.
bad guy.
I mean, you
Gaslighting.
guys are still up right now. You're still in the playoffs if the playoffs started today.
Yep.
And I think you guys, I don't know. It basically comes down to like if one or two of the NFC West teams can win games and not all of them beat up on each other.
Yeah.
Like one or two of them run away with it. Also, the Bucs are lurking. They're definitely in it. But I think you guys will still make it.
I also blame Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Why is he at the game? I thought it was Troy Aikman.
Did anyone ask him about Diddy?
Will Compton?
Have you seen those clips? It's so funny. Like TMZ people just asking random celebrities about Diddy, and their just response is always like they've seen a ghost, and they just like hustle into the car.
I would like to know the answer to that. Anytime you've got like Jay-Z showing up out of nowhere to your game, that's a good sign that maybe your team has been overhyped a little bit too much.
Yeah, and Michael Rubin with him. Okay, next game. Another crazy, I would say, upset that we didn't expect. The Titans 32, the Texans 27. Titans. This couldn't have started more Titans-esque in the fact that the Texans ran back a kick, 60 yards, and then the second or third play of the game, the Texans scored. It was 7-0. You're like, oh, this is over. Like they got no chance. But Will Levis is fun because he throws bombs, he takes sacks, threw a pick six. All over the place, but they get a win. And I really walk away from this game being like, are the Texans good? I don't know if they are.
I don't think that they've been good all year.
Yeah, they've
really
been like clunky all year.
They've been clunky, but they've never been good. They've never been as good this season as they were last year. Their offense doesn't look good, and I know that Texans fans are now openly asking for Bobby Slowick to be fired. So he was a guy that was a hot name for head coaching last year. And now they're asking for him to be fired because the offense looks so bad. I just think that this is what they've been.
Well, when they beat the Bills, they started 5-1. So there was definitely a time when everyone was like, "Oh, they're really good." Or at least they were winning games. Mm-hmm. But their line can't block. They have, I feel like, the most amount of unforced errors and penalties against them every single time. Even Kymie Fairbairn missed a chip shot that would have tied the game. And then you had C.J. Stroud running out of the back of the end zone. They're just not a very good team overall. Like they're going to win the AFC South, but I don't trust them at all because you kind of are what you are. And every time I watch them, they'll have like spurts where it was like everything will click and Nico Collins will be running down the field and it will look great. And then they'll have quarters where it's just false start or holding and CJ Stroud throwing the ball away and like just everything looking broken.
Yeah, no, they haven't beaten teams that they're supposed to beat by like a significant margin. I haven't been super impressed with them all season long. I don't know what the quick answer is for them because they seem to have taken a step back from what they were last year at least. And this is what expectations will do to you. Yeah. Because nobody expected anything from the Texans last year. They look good for most of the season. Then you build that up into year two and you think, okay, sky's the limit year two. And then now they just, they're only what's the record now?
They're 6-5, I believe. 7-5. 7-5.
And then they're 7-5, and you're like, the sky's falling. This is bad. The good news is you get to play. I believe the Titans might be their last game of the season.
Well, they just lost to them.
Yeah, but again, like if you look at their schedule, they've got some pretty tough games coming up. I think they have like the Ravens, the Chiefs.
They play the Chiefs, Ravens. Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens.
Yeah, Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens. That's going to be very tough.
Yeah. Blind resume for you. Ready? Mm-hmm. From week 3 on. So if you can remember what happened in week 2, and I'm just going to keep this completely blind. I'm not going to reveal who these 2 guys are. Mm-hmm. 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And then that's QBA. And then QBB is 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
So when we saw what we thought was the Lil Broing at the time,
I don't know what you're talking about.
That was a passing of the torch.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was a blind. That was as blind of a blind resume as it could get, because I'll never reveal what I'm referring to and which two quarterbacks that might have met at midfield after a Sunday Night Football game in week 2.
So player A, Lil Broed, player B, but he was really saying
11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions,
got
11
next.
touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
He said you got next, Kate.
It is interesting. Listen, CJ Stroud, I think, is still going to be fine. But if you're a Texans fan, you might be like, I could have used like a couple less podcasts in the offseason where, remember when he did his top 5 quarterbacks and he named himself 3? Mm-hmm. Maybe the NFL can humble you quickly. And that was his 3rd multi-interception game. He only had 1 last year. I think CJ Stroud's still going to be phenomenal, but running out of the end zone was not ideal, and it feels like there's been a little bit of humble pie because we all partook in it, where we're like, given the contract, you take CJ Stroud over anyone.
Yeah,
we're as guilty as CJ Stroud is, but it is the NFL is really hard to be good year in year out.
I'm not saying that Texans fans are doubting CJ Stroud long term.
No, I don't think they are. You shouldn't.
But what I am saying is that maybe this week, for the first time in a long time, the phrase Ohio State quarterback ? Entered your head. But that doesn't mean that you're doubting. That's a perfectly natural reaction.
It's a perfectly natural reaction.
I think Nicole said it best. She's a Texans fan that called into the postgame show.
Yeah.
And she said that Kaimi Fairbairn and Bobby Slowick are being bought off by the NFL cartel to throw games. And she also believes that the cartel is after CJ Stroud too.
Okay.
And then they cut her off because she was getting emotional.
Have you guys seen that meme of the guy who looks like CJ Stroud? It's like a junkyard CJ Stroud. That one's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. It's right there. Year 2 CJ Stroud after he spent all summer doing podcasts and defenses got tape on him.
Yep.
That's tough.
I just think that it's funny to think that the NFL cartel wants to see Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans be successful.
Yeah.
And that the nation's 4th most populous city should not get any publicity.
Yes. By the way, we should talk real quick about the Titans because every single week I was like, I'm not giving up on the Titans. I'm not giving up on the Titans. I should have been giving up on the Titans. I bet them again this week, and finally I feel vindicated because they have pieces of their team that are not terrible. Their special teams are terrible, but their defense is good, and Will Levis is, he's up and down, but the ups are great. Like, they were big chunk plays that he went for, big touchdown throws. And he also is the first quarterback since 1970 to have 105-plus passer rating in a 3-game span in which he was sacked 20-plus times. So he basically just gets killed and still finds a way to make passes and throw it downfield. The pick 6 was horrendous, but everything else was good. So, and hey, remember Tony Pollard?
Yeah.
He's 22 yards away from having 1,000. He was awesome today.
That's pretty crazy that he's had that good of a season.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's been good. So the Titans deserve some credit. Like, they are not going anywhere this year, but it feels like they have the structure for a future. Mm-hmm. If they can maybe get some offensive line help in the draft, I think Brian Callahan's going to be a very good coach in this league. Will Levis it's good and bad. If you can just take away some of the bad, the good is really, really good.
And this is a good moment, too, for Titans fans because you ultimately do want to lose as many games as possible, but you should still keep that hatred for your division rival.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And, where are the Titans right now in Tankathon? That was, their 3rd win? They're not a bad they are a bad football team, but they're not. Like, if you watch them, they basically, every game, they will start well, and then they'll just fall apart, and they almost fell apart today, but the Texans, like, the pick 6 felt like it was going to be backbreaking, and they just kept on fighting.
Yeah.
So they deserve a lot of credit for this game, and that was a big win, because I am a believer in you can't just totally lose out. You have to keep fighting, and for culture going forward, continuity, especially for a new coach, you want to win a couple games here and there so that you can be like, hey, remember we were pretty close.
Yeah, also, if you're a new coach and you're being asked to tank, and you do tank, then that's the kind of coach that should be fired after that season. I want to see a new coach be very disobedient to the front office when they tell them, like, hey, foot off the gas.
Correct. Okay.
Also, did you know that in Texas, in Houston, in the press box, they have a ranch fountain?
No, that's
They have
awesome.
a fucking ranch fountain up
I would
there.
prefer blue cheese. I'm a blue cheese guy over ranch. I know that is a spicy take for some.
Yeah, the ranch fountain.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. I was getting shit online this morning.
Look at that
That's
ranch
cool.
fountain.
Wait, is there hot sauce too?
They-
Yeah, it's
yeah.
buffalo sauce.
They got
I'm in for the buffalo sauce.
They got buffalo sauce, ranch, and I think they've got nacho cheese fountain too.
That's sick.
The fountain game is very strong in Houston.
Do you guys like cranberry sauce on Thanksgiving?
I like a tiny bit to dip some of my like stuffing or
I
turkey
mix it in
into.
with my stuffing.
just a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah. I was getting shit on for it. I was like, I just throw it in there. I like to
It's
do
a
the,
staple.
I like to do the big mashup where I just have like turkey stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, gravy, and it all is just like one food.
Yeah, it's a staple for a reason.
I think the correct ratio is like 20% of the size of the mashed potatoes.
I go like
that's how
two
much
scoops.
cranberry. You
I go
should
two
have.
tablespoons of cranberry sauce. Yeah, I like cranberry sauce. Adds a little sweetness to it. Okay, next up, Vikings 30, Bears 27. Listen, I'm not going to be doom and gloom, although that was the Bears are kind of inventing new ways to lose. Like this 5 or whatever game losing streak we're on right now. I think it's 5. We've had everything: a Hail Mary, a couple quick games, a blocked field goal, an overtime comeback, or a comeback to go to overtime and then lose again. So they just find new ways to like reel me in and then spit me back out. I said last week, and I believe this is like, as long as Caleb keeps looking good and wins and like looks better in spite of Matt Eberflus, that fucking moron, I'll be happy. So I'm not going to change my goals for the season. Caleb looked good.
This is a great day for all the like post Shane Waldron stats.
Yeah.
Like if you just look at before he was fired and after he was fired, this is going to be a nice little. You're going to have a great graphic by the end of the season that show two like separate halves of Caleb's progression offensively.
It's actually, and this is going to, people are going to say I'm crazy, and I know I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, whatever. I actually think Caleb Williams, he's my personal rookie of the year because what he was able to do with Shane Waldron as the coach is maybe the most impressive thing ever. And I mean, like, actually want to keep playing football, like not just quit football altogether. Because Thomas Brown coming in, everything looks different. The ball gets out so fast. Guys are open. DJ Moore's being used correctly. Keenan Allen, they're targeting Cole Kmet. Like, he looked good today. And I think the one thing that has kind of faded here is the Bears defense is not as good. They got torched by Jordan Addison. Torched. It was clear they were going to not let Justin Jefferson beat him, and Jordan Addison went and beat him. But Matt Eberflus is a doofus, and he's 14-31 as a head coach. All he does is lose one-score games, which he did again. And so, like, whatever, just get rid of him and Caleb keep looking good. I think Thanksgiving might be a really, really bad situation because I think the Lions might put up like a 50 burger on us, but I don't care. It's all about Caleb Williams. And if he can survive this season, getting a little bit better each week, I'm going to be just as bullish in the offseason because, like, how did he survive the idiot that is Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron?
So it might be a good thing to have a rookie quarterback and give them like the dumbest possible offensive coordinator for the first 8 weeks, just so that it becomes so much more easy for them with a competent guy.
Yeah.
I like that take. With Eberflus, this shouldn't have been a one-score game, though. Like, the end of this game was crazy. He backdoored his way into a one-score
Yeah,
game.
I mean, Caleb started making some big-time throws. I mean, the throw he made to DeAndre Swift down the sideline, the throw he made to DJ Moore to get into field goal range at the end of the game was an absolute laser. So far, the Vikings, who have a pretty good defense, there's only been one quarterback that has 300 yards and 2 TDs and no turnovers since Caleb Williams. So as much as people want me to be down, he looked good. So, I mean, getting another kick blocked was very funny.
You had the best loss of the week, I'd say.
Yeah, I wish we hadn't been reeled all the way back in. And the overtime did not look good because the overtime was a combo of Caleb getting sacked, false start penalty, and then Matt Eberflus coaching scared and having everyone off the ball. And Sam Darnold went 6 for 6 for 90 yards. Sam Darnold, by the way, played great. I was going into this game being like, we need to, have Sam Darnold have a couple mistakes to be in this game. He didn't make any mistakes. And he's a tough motherfucker because he got hit hard a couple times. And the Vikings are good. But I can't be upset because I told my past self, as long as Caleb looks good, you can't be upset. And so I can't be upset.
I have a question for you, Big Cat. Did Matt Eberflus know that they could lose the game with a field goal at the end?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because the defense was like,
Yeah.
playing. They were,
but maybe not
against 30-yard pass.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was
really
just,
strange.
It was insane, and he's a bad head coach, and he needs to be gone. But I'm like Matt Eberflus. You can't bother me anymore, dude.
Dweeberflus.
He's the worst. What do you think, Hank?
Sorry, I was distracted by Rob Lowe.
Do you have a realistic take on this game?
Yeah, you do. You've gotten past the doom and gloom. That's good.
Yeah.
Productive.
We're not going to the playoffs.
No.
We're not going to. I mean, I would like to win a couple of these games just for Caleb's sake. That would be the next step, because it does feel like I'm kind of in the same spot I was last year and the year before, where it's like win a couple games so that your rookie quarterback or your young quarterback can get the confidence. That part sucks because that is Groundhog's Day. But other than that, if Caleb looks good, nothing else can bother me.
Yeah.
He's got something else.
He's got something. He's got something.
Let it go.
He's got something.
I want to ask a question, but I'm
go ahead.
Get
Ask it.
But it's again like it's a genuine
Ask
question.
it. Yeah.
Because you are the one that brings this thing up all the time.
Yeah.
Is the reverse record, and if you guys win a couple more games like that, your reverse record of 1-score games is might come back to be painful. Because there's 3 off the top of my head. I don't know if there's
it was it was it would be painful,
especially with 2 divisional games.
Yeah, it would be painful if it weren't for the Cardinals and the Patriots game. Those quick games sandwiched in.
But if you win, if you
if we had won
at the end of the
if
year,
a Hail Mary doesn't happen and a blocked field goal doesn't happen, and this game we shouldn't have won.
True, the onside kick was good.
Yeah, cool. The onside kick. That was actually my biggest gripe with this game, is I feel like we wasted an onside kick.
Yeah.
Because we probably were never going to win this game.
I think if you take it to overtime, not a wasted onside kick.
No, I'm saying like we need that onside kick in a season when we're actually trying to go to the playoffs.
Oh, you mean like macro, zoom out? Over years.
Like
seasons.
in your life, you only have so many successful onside kicks that you will watch your teams do. Today was a wasted one. That feel right?
Yeah,
I get it.
You just know it deep down. You're like, you can't. It's like the whole, whenever you have like a big moment, you're like, one time for me. Mm-hmm. You can't say one time every single time. You know that's not going to happen. But this was the one time it happened, and I feel like it might be wasted.
It's like if you get hot at a shoot around, you're just shooting the basket by yourself.
Yeah,
and you hit like 10 in a row from 3, and then you play a pickup game next week, and you can't make a bucket.
Yeah.
My only other hater note, I guess. I wouldn't say that it is, but the sack he took in overtime, you can't.
Yeah,
that was a bad.
No, it was bad.
You can't. You got to just throw the ball away.
It was bad. That was a bad sack, and it's still not perfect. I'm not saying that Caleb's like a finished product, but it looked so bad for the last 3 games of Shane Waldron. So to have the last 2 games look good again gives me new life, and like he's playing free again. He's not mentally locked up. He's throwing the ball. He's seeing it, throwing it.
He's running
throwing
well,
it
too.
hard. Yeah. So it's
winning divisional games with a rookie quarterback is very hard.
very hard.
It's
Very
good
hard
to fight.
It's weird you would say that.
No, it's like if you keep him within 1 score, that's great.
Yeah.
For your quarterback. So
Yeah.
Good job, Big Cat.
For sure, yeah. I mean, like losses are losses, whether they're 1 point, 2 points, whether you could have won with the 2-point conversion and chose to kick a field goal and then missed the extra point, or if you lose by 20, it doesn't matter. Loss is a loss.
A loss is a loss. A loss is a loss. And yeah, the Vikings. I expected Sam Darnold to start to melt, but he was.
If I had
he
a
was
gun
good.
right now, it's a good thing that we're in Chicago.
Yeah, no guns here.
By the way, did you guys see one of the weirdest quirks in this game when Jordan Addison had that big catch and run down the sideline? They had Matt Eberflus challenged it, didn't win the challenge. I think he's 0 for lifetime in challenges. They had a view that showed that Jordan Addison might have stepped out of bounds, but they couldn't use it because it was the boundary cam.
Yeah.
And not every stadium has the boundary cam. So for equity of the game, so they had the view, but the refs were not allowed to use it.
So apparently you can use them for expedited reviews.
If it's a scoring play.
The league can call it in if it's a scoring
Yes.
play and they know the information.
But if it's a challenge, you can't.
So
how
that's
stupid
bullshit.
is that?
Do we have access to these boundary cams?
I don't know. I just saw the Mike Pereira was on. He was like, yeah, this is the boundary cam. You can't use the boundary cam here. He might have stayed in bounds too, so it doesn't really.
This is why we need.
But that's bullshit.
We need the super challenge.
Yeah.
The Super Challenge should include the boundary cams as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely should include it. Credit to the Vikings, though. They're going to the playoffs, and they're a good team.
Sam Darnold looked very good today.
Yeah.
His mobility has gotten so much better in the last couple of years.
Well, and
He's like moving around the pocket.
And the big thing is, if Jordan Addison is going to be like that, because it really was, the Bears were like, we're not going to let Justin Jefferson beat us. I think he had 7 yards before overtime. He had a big catch in overtime. But if Jordan Addison is going to be that good, the Vikings are a very big problem.
Memes, how do you feel about potentially bringing Sam home this week?
This week?
No, I mean, like last week you were out on it. The week before you were maybe in on it. Now Sam Darnold, the quarterback for the New York Jets 2025. What are your thoughts?
I'm at fuck it mode, so yeah, just bring him in.
Okay.
Hey, Memes, did you see the latest Jets thing?
Yeah, I saw it.
Well, actually, I think there's
in a source off right
I think there's multiple things.
I don't know if I saw Big Cat. What was it?
Well, there's multiple things. Let's save the Rodgers stuff for maybe who's back. I was talking about the anecdote that Woody Johnson landed his helicopter at practice, and Joe Douglas turned to Jeff Ulbrich and was like, if he's coming to fire me, it's been an honor serving with you. And then he literally was coming to fire him.
Yeah, the New York Jets are the TV show Succession.
I just love that's insane. To like, there's like the person who was sourced it was like, yeah, they had a good chuckle about it, and then minutes later, Woody Johnson pulled Joe Douglas off the field and fired him.
Has anything good ever happened after a billionaire stepped off a helicopter?
No,
I can't think of anything.
No, that's not. That feels bad. Okay, Chiefs 30, Panthers 27. Bryce Young,
Is he back?
dude. Bryce Young,
I think he might be back.
he was awesome today. And I know awesome is relative. Like, you're not going to look at his numbers and be like, holy shit, he was so good. He was awesome in the fact that the Chiefs were blitzing him nonstop, and he looked composed, didn't make any big mistakes. There was one where like they brought the house, and he just stood in there, hit his guy, like kept on going. He had 2 fourth quarter drives for a touchdown. Scoring drives. This was only the 3rd time in the Andy Reid Chiefs era where a team scored on 75% of their drives against them.
That's pretty crazy.
That was Bryce Young today.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for Panthers fans because it's been a tough couple of years, and I don't know. I mean, Bryce Young looked like he was 11 for 13, 135 yards and a TD versus the blitz today.
Yeah, and
that's good.
And they were down 11 points in the 4th quarter, and Bryce Young he brought them back on those drives, and they might have taken this to overtime. Then Patrick Mahomes did the thing that Patrick Mahomes does when he runs with the football. And then defenses assume that he's going to slide or he's going to go out of bounds. So they let up because they know if you hit Patrick Mahomes even like a quarter of a second late, you're going to get flagged for it every single time.
Yep.
And then he does a thing where he just keeps on going.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to stop. And then peeled off another like 15, 20 yards.
He had a 33-yard run down the sideline that was just vintage Patrick Mahomes. And the Chiefs just keep – I mean, it's crazy the Panthers are in this game because I think if you have to look at anything, you kind of know what the Chiefs' offense is. Maybe they'll get a little bit better when Hollywood Brown comes back, and maybe Rashee Rice. I don't know. The Chiefs' defense has not looked as good as it did to start the season. I think Spags will probably get it figured out, but Bryce Young, I mean, he had a nice day against them. So he went up and down the field against them.
Do you think Panthers fans are like maybe just Bryce Young next season too?
Yeah,
I think he's played well enough recently where you might be happy with him now.
Listen, it's not the craziest thing. He's looked better, and you already have him under contract. Like, I don't know, you don't want to.
Why not?
Why not?
Because here's the thing: right now you might be finding yourself in a New York Giants situation where if Bryce goes to another team and he plays really well, you can't live with that.
That's true.
You can't live with yourself.
That's true.
If Bryce Young even has like a moderately successful career for somebody else.
That's true.
You can't do that. You just have to just kind of keep him around.
Yeah.
And hope that this trend keeps to progress. And if it doesn't, you can bench him again. Maybe he'll get even better after you bench him a second time.
You want a blind resume?
Yeah.
Quarterback A, last 2 games, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Quarterback B, last 2 games, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Oh, I think quarterback A might be
the same quarterback from the earlier blind resume.
Yeah, we've kept quarterback A consistent.
Yeah, consistent. And then quarterback B is probably Bryce Young.
Yes. Quarterback B is
that's-
Bryce Young.
Hey, listen, Big Cat, Ohio State University quarterbacks.
Yes.
Can't make it to the NFL.
Make it to the NFL.
I do think, though, that Patrick Mahomes might be the fastest slow guy on the planet.
His speed is deceiving in that he's slower than he looks.
Yeah.
So he gets you he gets guys coming fast, and then he kind of gives a hezzy. He's incredible running the ball. And this was a game that it felt like the Chiefs are just going to play in this game every week, I guess, no matter who the competition is, and then they're going to win the majority of them.
I think we should make a ruling, though, on Chiefs fans, whether or not they're allowed to post the graphic that is, can't wait to watch the Chiefs play football for the first part of it, and then I'm going to kill myself.
Wait.
And then at the end, nice, we won.
No.
I don't think they should be.
That's not allowed.
I've seen it.
You've won. No.
Yes, I've seen it. And
You've won 3 Super Bowls. You can't use that.
I think we should make a public statement about it. National Sports Podcast.
If there's any Chiefs fans complaining about being 10-1 and going for a
Well, no, the
three-peat,
meme is just at the roller coaster game.
but it doesn't matter. They always win.
yeah, they always win.
It's true.
The meme should just be, we have Patrick Mahomes. This kicks ass.
Yeah.
Their biggest complaint that Chiefs fans have right now is our tight end is too famous.
Yeah, the meme should be, can't wait to watch Chiefs football. Oh, shit, we don't look that good, but we have Patrick Mahomes, so we'll probably win.
Yeah, nice. I was right.
Sick. That's crazy.
It is crazy, isn't it?
That's a crazy thing to do.
There's certain memes that should be held exclusively for loser franchises.
Yes.
And as card-carrying members of loser franchises, this is where we need to step up and say, my culture is not your costume.
No.
Yep. Nope.
You can't, if you're a Chiefs fan, you can't. At no point, even if you lost this game today, who the fuck cares?
Hank, you don't get to claim loser franchise.
Oh, I thought current. My bad.
Yeah. Is Noah Gray tight end 1?
He might be. If you look at the stats between him and Kelsey, yes.
Interesting.
What's that, memes?
He's got 3 touchdowns in the last
I'm
2
just telling Pug
games.
to pull stuff up back here.
Yeah, Noah Gray's got 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games. He might be tight end 1. Do you think there's any No, I'm not going to do it.
What?
No, I was going to talk about Noah Gray and
maybe his prospects.
yeah, no,
See,
I was
if
going to say I'm not going to say anything.
I'll just ask the question. Is he married?
Does he have a podcast?
Let's see. Noah Gray. Wife. Oh, yeah. She looks nice.
Okay, great. So good for Noah Gray. Scored 3 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. That's fucking sick. 2 touchdowns today.
And you're married to a beautiful lady.
Yeah. You basically have,
have
it
it
all.
all.
Yeah, you have it all. And you're Patrick Mahomes' favorite target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life
This
is pretty
sick. This is sick for you. Okay, anything else from this game? It was good. This was another one where it was like, because I will get to the Lions Colts. I had these ugly. It was my week where I was like, I'm just gonna bet all the ugly teams. So I bet the Titans. I bet the Panthers. I bet the Colts. It was good that the Colts hurt, but these 2 teams showing up and the Panthers almost winning this game felt good.
If the Chiefs didn't lose last week, I think they lose this game.
They might have. Yeah,
The
it
meme
would have
would-
been.
the-
The meme would have been correct.
The prophecy would have been accurate.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a break for a couple ads, and then we will talk about your team, Hank.
Wait, is this stat true that the Chiefs have now won 10 games for 10 years in a row? You don't get to use the thing.
That's crazy.
You don't get to use the
Because we're-
nice we won thing.
Because guess what? I was going to say this for the Lions thing, but the Lions have won 10 games for consecutive seasons for the first time in their 95-year history.
Yeah.
They've won 10. I guess that makes sense because of Alex Smith, right? Mm-hmm. Like they would rip off wins.
They weren't throwing touchdowns to wide receivers for 2 seasons.
And they were still winning 10 games a year. No, okay, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is. 2014. 2014 was the last time they won less than 10 games. That's insane.
That's very impressive.
You cannot use that meme.
No, you can't.
Report that meme. Anyone who sees that meme, tag us. We'll report it. That person that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That actually makes me mad. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little Patriots Dolphins.
Yes, before we get back to the games, are brought to you by our good friends over at Game Time. If you're looking to get into an NFL game, use Game Time. The best places, the best seats, it's the only place that you can find the best deals for the best seats, especially last minute. Use their new feature, Game Time Picks. Let's see what's going on with the Harbaugh Bowl, Hank. Can you see what the get-in cost is going to be?
Surely.
For the Ravens and the Chargers on Monday Night Football. It's football season. We can't wait to get out to some games. Game Time always hooks it up. They're the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You know how much we love Game Time. Now, with their brand new Game Time Picks feature, they're making it easier than ever to get into a game. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. If you're looking for those seats to get into Monday Night Football, what are they, Hank?
$85 is the get-in price to Monday Night Football.
$85. If you're looking for seats at any game, college, NFL, check it out on Game Time. They've got the best deals, and the Game Time Picks feature at the top of the screen. That's where you want to go for great seats and heavy discounts. The best deals, they sorted out for you. Download the Game Time app today. Use code PMT. Easily score great deals with the new Game Time Picks. What time is it? It's game time. These games are also brought to you by our good friends over at Aura Frames. If you're looking for a holiday gift, tell you what, the Aura Frame is the best you can do. The best gifts always feel like they were picked out just for you. That's why I love Aura digital picture frames during the holidays. You can give your mom and grandpa the same gift, and you can completely personalize it with all their favorite pictures. Wirecutter called Aura Frames the best digital photo frame, and it's easy to see why. It takes no time to set up and get connected, and then you can add the perfect photos and videos yourself from the app. It just connects to your photo library. You click the ones that you want. It couldn't be easier. For a limited time, visit auraframes.com and get $45 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames by using promo code PMT at checkout. It's auraframes.com, promo code PMT. It's an exclusive Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal. It's their best of the year, so don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, Dolphins 34, Patriots 15. Now, Hank, you told us that you bet the Patriots to make the playoffs. They got absolutely smoked today.
Yeah, no, the last 2 weeks, they've gotten exposed on defense pretty bad, and their offensive line has been even worse.
Yeah.
They can't stop. Listen, I'm not a football guy. I'm a football guy.
Wait, I thought you were a huge football fan.
You just root for the game.
You said that at the beginning of the show. You said that you just love football.
I'm talking X's and O's. I'm just being honest. I don't know the game. I never played the game. Like, when I hear Coach Gruden talk about the X's and O's, like, that shit goes right over my head. When I look at a defense,
but you love
I can't
the
read
game.
it. But I enjoy watching it.
Enjoy or love?
Even I know.
Wait, Hank, quick question. You enjoy the game of football?
Yeah.
You enjoy, like, Pitt football on a
Pitt
Saturday?
Kent
Or
State.
just
NFL?
only on Sundays?
Just only on Sundays.
My teams. I enjoy watching my teams play football, which
Okay.
I think is pretty common.
Washington.
Yeah, even Washington.
Not the Commanders.
No, he enjoyed it today.
That's true.
The Patriots can't stop a slant like that. Like, it's the most obvious thing in the world. Like, the last two games
Bad team to have that against because
they just fucking run diagonally. But the Rams did it too.
Yeah,
they did it all game. They just run diagonally in the middle of the field is wide open. And again, like, I don't know much, but I know that should not be as easy as it has been the last 2 weeks. And today it was unstoppable. I think they went 3 and out in the first drive and then just didn't stop getting first downs for the rest of the game.
You guys also struggled to cover tight ends. It felt like Jonnu Smith
Everything.
is just always open.
Everything in the middle of the field, wide open.
yeah. Jalen Waddle made his comeback today.
Big time.
He was all over the place. Yeah, Tua was awesome. I mean, I think the Dolphins might be back. We'll find out because the best part about the Dolphins right now, they were okay. Then Tua gets hurt, and obviously the bottom fell out. And now that he's back, they've looked really good in the last 3 weeks. Obviously, they lost to the Bills, but the last 2 weeks they won. And I think there was that weird Cardinals loss too mixed in there. But they're 5-6. They're in the race for the AFC playoffs. Mm-hmm. And now they have to go to Lambeau on Thursday night, and we get to decide whether the Dolphins are still the Dolphins or this team could maybe make the playoffs, because cold weather Dolphins will tell us everything. And they have 3 cold weather games remaining on their schedule because they finished with at the Browns and at the Jets.
So they asked Tua about the cold weather coming up.
Okay.
And his response was, I'm excited to kill narratives.
Love
go.
that.
Bring it on.
Because it's
Tua
a narrative.
Tagovailoa, destroyer of narratives. I think these Dolphins are different from last year's Dolphins.
Oh.
I think that maybe getting shamed into the whole fraud discussion last year, I think that might have made them more prepared for this year, where nobody thinks they're a fraud.
Oh.
Where they're used to adversity at this point.
Yeah.
They've been getting shit on for the last 8 months.
I mean, Tua looks great. He's
Yeah.
at five games in a row, 70% passing completion or better. He had 4 touchdowns today. They did whatever they wanted. Like, even the score, 34-15, isn't really like it was 24-0 at half.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Dolphins could have just kept scoring if they wanted to. Yeah, the Dolphins and Chop Robinson looks good.
Yeah.
Shout out Chop, all-time football name.
He looks great. Jalen Waddle has been rediscovered down in Florida.
Also, how about the fact that Jonnu Smith's good?
Yeah, Johnny Smith.
Jonnu Smith is good. Like, the offense runs through Jonnu Smith.
They couldn't guard him today. He was always open.
I think he has a touchdown in every single game in the last 3 weeks.
My only problem with Jalen Waddle is that he said that the penguin dance is off limits now.
Oh, no.
He's done doing it.
Because of the Penguin show?
He's not doing the waddle anymore because he said that people asking him in public to do it got to be a little bit much. You can't take that away.
You got to give people what they want.
If you're scoring touchdowns, you got to do the waddle. I also like Mike McDaniel after the game brought his baby daughter in.
Yep.
And he just openly said it. You know, some coaches out there, not to name any names, some coaches will bring their children with them to the press conferences afterwards and use them as human shields.
Correct.
But Mike McDaniel was like, yeah, I just wanted you guys to ask me easy questions. That's why I brought my infant daughter in here.
Yeah.
And the first question was, why are you such a great dad?
That's great.
It works.
That's great. Yeah. Smart by him. So, Hank, are you worried at all about Gerard Mayo?
Definitely.
Yeah. That quote he had, he said, talking about the errors. Yeah. He said, once those guys cross the sideline, there's nothing I can do for them. There's nothing any coach can do for them once they cross the sideline. It's my job to continue to prepare them.
But they're crossing the sideline and doing terrible, which means you're not doing good preparing.
Yeah, you got to prepare them. And then, because
I also feel like there is something, you can't say that. It's kind of like the mutiny thing when it's like, there's things he's not very well media trained.
And once they're across the sideline, you still are getting calls into the offense and defense.
Yeah, like, hey, defense, and he's a defensive coach. That's really where I lose it a little bit, where it's like, he's a defensive coach and our defense looks so bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I thought you guys were in that frisky category. It was like, and he even said it. I think he's like, we want to be the team that no one wants to play at the end.
You need a good defense for that.
Yeah.
Like
it turns out it was just the Bears quitting and like being lifeless and Shane Waldron that made that thought percolate.
Yeah, in theory, it should be you have a defensive coach, the defense is standing up, and then your rookie QB, there might be some good, there might be some bad, but you can string together some wins. The rookie QB is playing above average, but everything else is just really bad.
Yeah.
Is Jared Mayo the guy?
Probably not.
Probably not.
How quickly do you move on?
I wouldn't hate, again, like my personal thing, I don't think Jared Mayo's a bad guy.
Gerard.
The defense is bad. He's a defensive coach. Why not get an offensive coach to work with our phenom quarterback?
Would seem smart.
Yeah.
I deal with the same thing.
Phenom.
Phenom.
We're putting Drake May in the phenom category now.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen these graphs?
Phenom.
I don't think I've seen the same graphs you have.
He's been looking at graphs.
He's a playmaker. That's what I've learned, and I was wrong in my analysis with him pre-draft. Maybe the ball looks a little heavy, but he's so good on his feet, scrambling, running out of the pocket, making plays happen. I think he's phenom.
So maybe
and he does that today, but it's like also it'd be nice if he had more than 1 second in the pocket where he didn't have to scramble and run for his life every single play.
Do you think that Robert Kraft is the guy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. He's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. What do you think about Mr. Kraft not making it the Hall of Fame again?
Clearly, Roger Goodell has proven time and time again to have a bias against the Patriots, against Mr. Kraft, against everything that the Patriots stand for.
Roger Goodell does the voting for the Hall of Fame.
I don't think he does either.
You don't think he has any influence?
I think it's sports writers.
No, those are journalists.
Capital
Did you see Ian Rappaport almost cry about an old story? Did you guys see that story?
Yeah, Mike
so
Mularkey.
fucking funny. Mike Mularkey. The story goes that Mike Mularkey knew he was about to get fired by the Titans, and he told Ian Rappaport that he was actually about to get an extension. And I guess Ian Rappaport, this was 5 years ago, and I guess he found out about it like this week. and he got very upset.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not funny.
The guy's name is literally Malarkey.
Yeah. Also, it's funny. Sorry, it's funny. You should have used a second source.
He was also. It's like you assume he was drunk. It's a very funny drunk. Like, should I text?
Yeah,
Rapport
right.
And tell him I'm fucking.
Like the guy's about to
signing
get
extension?
fired. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just see if someone will report that I got a contract extension." That's funny.
But if the guy tells you that and then you report it and he gets fired, you should by all means be like, hey, just as a heads up, my source on this was the guy that got
Mike
fired.
Malarkey. Yeah.
So,
But then you
it's
tell
on
him who
him.
your sources.
Well, that's fine.
But he
he's
should have
fired.
done it right away. Yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
should've-
a fun. I laughed, and then when I watched Rapport's reaction, I laughed even harder.
Yeah, but Hank, you don't think that Robert Kraft is his non-Hall of Fame vote is getting to him a little bit? Because he spent the last 3 years just trying to get to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
he did the stop hate, the timeout to hate.
They're also in the report about him not making it. I guess
I think that was to stop hate, but sure.
Yeah. Well,
He just
it
did
was
to stop
He just
hate?
wanted. He just woke up and was like, "I'm going to stop hate today."
Yeah, I mean that's very like. he's a
Do you ever
generous,
wake up and
charitable
think
guy.
you're going to stop hate?
I would say
No, but if
the
I
hate
would, I would not
provider
like. I would not
number
like
one
it
on
to be
this
used
podcast
against me as a negative
is
thing
on that
towards
couch.
my Hall of Fame resume.
I agree with that, but stopping hate is a very hard thing to do.
He's
I know, so he should be applauded for trying
Stopping
to stop
hate.
hate.
He's 0-1 against hate. If anything, he's only emboldened.
Hate's
some
kicked
of the
his
haters.
ass. Yeah, because the NFL Hall of Fame voters.
Yeah,
They voted in a guy who owned a team for 4 years,
yeah,
and he didn't want to pay the players.
yep.
Yeah, they're apparently they've been sending, like, every year they send Robert Kraft's book to all of the voters, and then the article I read, one voter was like, "Yeah, I've gotten it like 2 years in a row." The book,
Still haven't read it.
still haven't read it. So I think he should get in.
I think this when Hank stops hating, that will be the biggest test of Robert Kraft's success.
He should get in because owners in the last 20 years, 30 years, he's had a pretty big impact on the game of football.
I would say so.
But it also is very funny that he keeps getting denied.
I do
like
think-
it's a funny story. It's kind of like the Mike Malarkey story.
I do think that Roger Goodell looks at this podcast and he's like, the number one Patriots fan is still the world's biggest hater. How
Robert
good of
Kraft
a
didn't
job
stop hate.
Has Robert Kraft done?
That's a good point, PFT. I didn't even think about
You can
that.
get him in, Hank. You have that power.
I'm not a hater, so
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
it's a good start.
Okay, gun to your head. Do the Dolphins find a way to make the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I say no. I want them to because I think Tua is fun and like it sucks that they had the injury, but the Broncos are currently in the 7 seed at 7-5, and the Dolphins have 5 and 6. Do we think the Broncos are going to drop a couple more? The Dolphins also have not the easiest schedule. They play at the Packers.
It's tough to win division games with a rookie QB.
Actually, they might have an easy schedule given the state of some of these teams. At the Packers, who are good. Jets, Texans, Niners, Browns, Jets. They probably have to win. They probably have to get to 10 wins. So they can lose one more game.
I think
They got to go 5-1 in the last 6.
and the Broncos would have to go 2 and they only have 5 left. 2 and 3. Would that get them in? Who has the tiebreaker?
I don't know who has the tiebreaker. But yeah, it feels like I don't know. I don't think the Broncos are going to go 2 and 3.
I think the Broncos might go 2 and 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a believer. I'm not going to give the Broncos 2 and 3 just yet. Who has it? Because head-to-head isn't part of the second tiebreaker conference. Miami's 4-4 in the conference, while Denver is 3-4. The teams finish with the same conference record, then their record against common opponents would break the tie.
That's too complicated.
It's very complicated. The Chiefs aren't going to be playing anyone in Week 18, maybe.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Or they might be playing for a better seed.
Yeah, that's true. Either way, I'm happy the Dolphins. Credit to the Dolphins, winning this game saved Thanksgiving football. Because if the Dolphins had lost this game and they were sitting there at 4-7, we would have had the Bears-Lions game, the Bears are playing for the Bears are going to get embarrassed. The Giants-Cowboys game is putrid. And then we would have had a 4-7 Dolphins team going to Lambeau. They saved Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Dolphins. You saved Thanksgiving. Okay. Speaking of Lions 24, Colts 6, I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. The Detroit Lions have won 10 games in consecutive seasons for the first time in their 95-year history. And they did it with their defense today because we all talk about Ben Johnson. Aaron Glenn is also going to be a head coach. The Detroit Lions have not given up a touchdown in the last 10 quarters of play. So that's halftime of the Houston Texans game. They just swallowed up the Colts. And the Colts, I mean, they gave up a couple, there's some big chunk plays here and there. But when it got to red zone and Aleem McNeil is just unblockable, just an absolute force on that defensive line. Aaron Glenn deserves a lot of credit. And the Lions showed that even they weren't clicking at the highest level of Lions offensive football today, and they still won.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the not allowing touchdowns in over 2 games now because that's very, very impressive for this team. And winning games on the road as well. So they're 6-0 on the road right now. They beat the Colts, the Texans, the Packers on the road, the Vikings on the road, the Cowboys on the road when they weren't dog shit, and the Cardinals on the road. They're a really, really fucking good football team.
Yeah,
very, very good.
They're
that's why they're my until further notice team.
Yeah,
until they have a stinker of a game, I'm just going to blindly believe that the Detroit Lions are going to steamroll everyone.
Yeah, and this wasn't even a steamrolling like it was. You mean they steamrolled
defensively?
Defensively they steamrolled them because the Colts are maddening to watch because they just had so many penalties, self-inflicted wounds. Anthony Richardson, kind of the same thing that we've talked about a million times. Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it doesn't. Also, Ogletree dropped a touchdown for him. That sucked. But yeah, the Colts just beat themselves. And when you're playing a Lions team that you have to play pretty much perfect football, it was pretty much over at halftime. Even though it was 14-6, it's you can't kick 2 field goals against the Lions. They're going to beat you if you kick 2 field goals.
They've only really had one game where they've looked bad offensively.
It was the Bucs.
That was their one loss where they scored, I think, 16 points.
Yeah, it's actually the Rams game week 1 was not perfect. It was basically September.
Yeah.
Since September, they have just been dominating.
Yep.
And this is a crazy stat. So the Lions have finished their 4-0 against the AFC South. In fairness, I'll do a quick insult stat. The NFC North played the AFC South this year. The NFC North was 14-2 against the AFC South. The Bears obviously were the 2 losses. They went 2-2. Every other team went 4-0. The Detroit Lions against the AFC South this year. Tell me what you think the scores were in the second halves of those games.
17-0.
No, total. 4 games. 4 games against the AFC South.
4 games. I'm going to say that they had a point differential of
63-17.
Just the second halves?
Just the second halves. 4 games against the AFC South.
I think they had a point differential of plus 70.
Yes, that's exactly right. You saw the same stat. 70 to
I did
nothing.
not see it. I heard Hank say 60, and I was like, I think it's worse
70
than that.
to nothing. 70 to nothing.
That's wild.
Nothing. 0.
Wow.
70 to 0 in the second halves against the AFC South.
I have a question.
70 to 0.
That's insane.
That's 2 full games of football over 4 games. 8 quarters, 70 to 0. Go ahead.
Would you rather be 10-1 with a bunch of clunky wins, close games, or 10-1 with a bunch of blowouts and never in doubters?
Blowout.
Lions, yeah.
Yeah.
And also they've not had all blowouts and never in doubters. They had a really tight game against the Vikings. They had a really tight game against the Texans. I mean, that was the Texans game was to prove it. Jared threw 5 picks?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean by would you rather be? Would you rather moving forward and confidence in your team?
Yeah.
Would the hypothetical team that has a lot of clunky games have Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback? Mm-hmm. Then I would rather be that team. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
But the Lions right now, I think it's safe to say they are the best team in football.
Yeah, and they've been tested a few times, but they just kill teams that are not. I mean, the Lions deserve a ton of credit because when they play inferior opponents, they kill them, and you should get credit for that. Mm-hmm. They just smash them. Also, the Montgomery Gibbs, Sonic and Knuckles. This is the 11th time they both scored in a game. It's most in NFL history for a tandem in the backfield.
Yeah, so they can obviously beat you if they throw the ball all over the place, but they can also just run the ball down your throat.
Yeah.
Which is what they did today.
Yeah. The Lions are really fucking good. And the Colts, I don't really know. They're not going to make the playoffs, it feels like. Well, actually, they could win the AFC South. Who knows? That is not
5-7 right now.
That's not totally the. I would actually say if you said like, can the Colts win? Can the Colts make the playoffs? I would say not as a wild card, but maybe winning the AFC South.
I think it's probably over for the Colts, but it's not over yet. They could.
Yeah, no, it's probably over.
But it's probably over.
It's
but they
most
could.
likely. It's most likely over them. But wouldn't you say that their path to the playoffs would probably be the Texans just falling on their face?
They do not control their own destiny.
They do not control their own destiny. That is for
Although
sure.
we all do, kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
Power positive thing.
They can decide how they want to play.
Yeah.
Okay, last game of the early slate, Bucs 30, Giants 7. This was an absolute shit kicking. Baker is the best. He's the best. He is so much fun to watch. He did the Tommy DeVito Italian. He was blocking like 40 yards downfield for Bucky Irving. The fumble recovery. He just looks like he has so much fun playing football, and I have fun watching someone like that play football.
He goes 100 miles an hour downfield looking for work on a block, on a handoff.
Yeah.
Like, no quarterbacks do that. That was awesome to see. The Bucs, they've been waiting to play a team like the Giants for a long time.
Yeah, because they had a tough schedule.
They had a very tough
banged up.
schedule, and they were competing against every team, and now finally they get to play a team that they should beat and they should kill, and they went out there and they did it. The Giants they've got to be just like the most miserable fan base right now. They've got to be so frustrated with how the season's gone. That's true. The entire city of New York right now is down.
I'd say the
bad.
Jets.
The Giants, I didn't know this until earlier today. They only have one interception this season, which is crazy in week 12. I think that they started DeVito just to get Italians to buy tickets.
Yeah.
I think they were like, we need to give people a reason to come out to the games. I know we'll get the Italian guy out there. He didn't look great, but I mean, he also got his ass kicked today.
Yeah.
They were hitting him hard.
No, and he had 5 completions for 31 yards in the first half. Malik Neighbors basically summed up the entire Giants locker room. He had a couple quotes after. He said, I started getting the ball when it was 30-0. Asked Dable about it. And then he also said team has been soft as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dexter Lawrence also said that they played soft.
Yeah.
You
So
got
it's
two softs.
bad. And then we had the Daniel Jones. We recorded on Thursday. He got cut on Friday. I will say the scout team safety thing. Did you see? I think Ben DiNucci said something about it where he was like, every team I played on as the third string quarterback, I was scout team safety.
That might just be because Ben DiNucci is an elite athlete.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you remind me of a Troy Polamalu. Get back there.
But Daniel Jones is going to go to he said he wants to go to a contender.
Yeah, I like that.
So the Ravens and the Vikings are interested.
Those are the two teams. He feels like he would be a good Vikings backup, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you do worse than Daniel Jones as a backup.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, no, Daniel Jones, I mean, if Daniel Jones has to come in for a series, no, you'd probably be pretty nervous.
I mean, I think it'd be very funny if he ended up going to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And then,
well, I want him to go to the Cowboys for Thanksgiving. It would save Thanksgiving. If Jerry Jones signed Daniel Jones and started him against the Giants on Thanksgiving, that is the way to save Thanksgiving football. Jerry Jones, please do it.
I agree, but if he goes to the Eagles,
pay him though.
Yeah, I don't know. No, he got cut.
If they wanted to claim him off waivers, then they would have to pay him. But if he passed waivers and he's free to sign anywhere, you have to pay him, but you're going to pay him like minimum.
Cowboys currently have Daniel Jones listed on their website. Is that real?
As what?
Wait, hit the website. This would be so awesome. That was my initial thought, was like, just sign Daniel Jones and let us watch him play against the Giants, the ultimate revenge game. Oh, he's not there. This is a troll.
But imagine this. Imagine he gets signed by the Eagles. They're a contender, signed to the Eagles, and then last game of the season, Saquon Barkley rushes for an all-time record for him for rushing yards, potentially breaks 2,000 rushing yards, and Daniel Jones is a starting quarterback and beats the Giants as the Eagles quarterback.
But Jalen Hurts is their guy. That's why I'm saying, like, the Cowboys thing makes sense because the Cowboys don't have a starting quarterback.
Oh, no, obviously that would have been great for Thanksgiving. I'm saying, like, as a backup.
Yeah.
For peak chaos and misery, that is probably
that
what
would twist the knife. Yes.
Stop it, Hank.
So, would you say he's maybe being a hater?
Big time.
Yeah. Stop hate.
Stop it, Hank.
Stop hate. The Bucs had 11 receivers catch a pass. I think the Bucs, I said it 2 weeks ago, I think they're going to find a way to get into this playoff. I don't know. I mean, it might be at your expense, PFT, but it also could be they win the NFC South. But they've been playing good football. They've just been really banged up and been playing really hard teams, and now they have a little bit of a reprieve in terms of their schedule where I think they have...
They need to pick up, I think, one game on the Falcons, right?
Well, the Falcons have the 2-0 head-to-head.
Yeah, so that's an issue.
So that is a big issue.
I think they could. I think that right now, they're one of the best teams in the NFC.
The only team they play that is above 500 left on their schedule is the Chargers. So they go Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints.
Yeah, they very easily could make the playoffs.
I want them to just because of Baker.
And
Baker's so much fun to watch.
Baker has the right mentality after the game. He said, we feel like we control our own destiny.
Yes.
Which is exactly the way that you want to feel.
Did you also see the reporter? I loved this. It felt like they had Baker on trial. They asked Baker if he's Italian because of the hand signals and wondering if this was a hate crime or not. And he said he hasn't done a 23andMe, so he doesn't know.
So he might be.
He could be. But it was just very funny for a reporter to ask it because it was kind of a serious tone where they're like, you're not allowed out of New Jersey if we can put this charge on you.
By the way, I think that he should do a 23andMe because they tell everybody that they're a little bit Italian.
Yeah.
I'm 1% Sicilian according to that. They'll probably find the same thing for him.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, yep, see, I was allowed to do it.
I was allowed to do it. Yeah, the Giants are really sad. This is going to be a sad Thanksgiving game. Put in Drew Lock.
Yeah. He got warmed up today. Did he get in?
I think he got in they were killing Tommy DeVito. Killing him.
Yeah, Drew Lock is the ultimate spark quarterback.
Also, Vita Vea being the fullback was sick.
Yeah.
Because he is an absolute monster of a man.
Yeah.
And that's exactly who you should have as your fullback.
Tristan Wirfs didn't play today, right? I think he was out.
Yeah.
So if you can get...
But I think Zion McCollum played. They had some guys back on defense. They're starting to get healthier. So this is big. Yeah. Let's see, Tristan Wirfs. Yeah, I think he was there with a big brace on. Stephen Shea was there, so I'm sure he's got all the intel. I'm not happy for Stephen Shea.
No, and was this?
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs didn't play.
Was this the same week as we saw Antonio Brown quit at halftime?
I don't know if it's the same week. I know it was the same. It was the first time the Bucs went back to MetLife.
Yeah, the first time was against the Jets. This time against the Giants. I think it might have been the same. Who knows?
I think people were just playing that video because they were like, this is the first time they're back at MetLife since then.
That was an all-time moment.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take another break and we'll do afternoon games.
Before we get back to the games, they're being brought to you by our friends over at Uber Eats. You can get almost anything delivered by Uber Eats, the official delivery partner of the NFL. It's football season. Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, special. A free medium 2-topping Domino's pizza with minimum purchase only on Uber Eats. If you got family in town for the holidays, guess what? You can feed them. Get a free medium 2-topping Domino's pizza with minimum purchase. And it's only on Uber Eats. If you're craving even more, they've got you covered. Game day deals on burgers, tacos, wings, and more all season long. Order Uber Eats now for game day. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See the app for details. The games are also brought to you by Duke Cannon. Maybe you've seen Duke Cannon products in Target, Walmart, or your local hardware store. If not, let me introduce you. Duke Cannon makes a variety of men's grooming goods. The big-ass bricks of soap, the thick body wash, beard care stuff, colognes, and hair wash. They also donate money to veterans' causes each year through the Duke Cannon Veterans Fund. Simply put, they give a damn, and their products work hard, and they smell terrific. Most of the year, I'm a Sawtooth thick body wash guy. Then in the fall, I like their Buffalo Trace soaps. But during the holiday season, which is pretty much here, I put their big-ass lump of coal soap on my wish list. It's a holiday season like Die Hard. Shop now at DukeCannon.com, Amazon, in Target, or at Walmart. They're everywhere. Go forth, save up to 20% on Yuletide soap bundles and gift sets. The products, the packaging, you won't find better gifts for the men on your list this year.
Okay, afternoon games. We've got a problem, by the way, in the NFL. Our afternoon games have sucked ass. Actually, we had Chiefs-Bills last week, but I feel like this, just anecdotally, we've been having these crazy witching hours to start, and then it's like 3 games and 2 of them are blowouts.
They should start being allowed to flex games out of good games out of Sunday Night Football back to the afternoons in case of emergency.
Or just give us the 4 and 5.
Yeah,
give us 4 and 5 that we know that if all hell breaks loose, we'll have a backup plan.
If you have more than 3, it gives you a much higher probability. And honestly, the Cardinals Seahawks could have been good, but it was just ugly.
It was just boring. Yeah. So the ugliest of all of them was the Packers 38, 49ers 10. This was an absolute shit kicking by the Packers, and Josh Jacobs was incredible, and he is. I was wrong. I thought. I mean, it was the hater in me, being like Josh Jacobs, like pay him all that money at running back. He is a difference maker, and he was incredible. Just absolutely shoved it down the 49ers' face.
Yeah. So when I found out that Purdy was going to be out, I think they released that news on Friday.
Friday,
right?
yeah, and Bosa.
Yeah. Purdy and Bosa. I thought that Purdy had looked hurt the last game that he played because he wasn't throwing the ball downfield at all. I didn't think that it was like keep him out of the next game type of an injury. But we knew that this had to potentially be an ugly game. But then by the time kickoff happened, Big Cat, I had talked myself into the 49ers. I was very wrong about that. I went back and I looked at the box score from, was it the NFC Championship game in 2020?
Yeah.
Where they had Jimmy Garoppolo complete 6 passes, I believe, and just ran the ball down the throat. Well, it also helps when you have like Trent Williams blocking for you in that game.
Yeah.
And the 49ers.
And all your weapons that are all healthy and look good.
And I think maybe most importantly, if you have like prime Debo, where it's just like get Debo the ball somehow, the ball in his hands, and let him do the rest of it, that Debo no longer exists.
Yes.
That Debo, he looks like a shell of himself physically while simultaneously looking like a much larger version of himself.
Yes.
Physically.
I was saying that. You were right about Brock Purdy obviously being injured, but when we were talking about it on Friday, Debo's definitely lost a step.
He looks big.
Yeah.
Him and Cordell Patterson, I feel like they hit the same buffets in the offseason.
Yeah. It's the Niners are in a lot of trouble. And I don't know, like they have a tough schedule coming up. The Bills are next. And I think this is just going to be chalk it up to the season from hell.
It might be.
It's season from hell, and where do you go for? Like, it feels like a reset of everything because this window of the Niners, and they did it with both Jimmy Garoppolo and then Brock Purdy, going to 2 Super Bowls, going to a bunch of NFC Championship games, and they just kept on running to that wall. And then this year, it just feels like everyone's hurt. They got a lot of, like, they got to pay Brock Purdy. There's a lot of guys getting paid right now. I don't know what you do. Does Kyle Shanahan want to stick around? Does he want to come to Chicago? I don't know.
But
People are asking that question.
I've noticed as the season gets progressively worse and worse for the 49ers, doesn't Kyle Shanahan look more and more homeless?
Yes.
Like he's every loss. He might not let himself go home after loss. He might just start walking back to his house, and then it's so far away because the stadium's in the middle of nowhere that he just has to turn around and go back to work before he even gets home.
It was the worst loss that Kyle Shanahan's taken since 2018.
It's pretty bad.
So it was pretty bad.
They had back-to-back 12 men on the field penalties.
Yeah.
Which is very hard to do.
3 turnovers. Couldn't do anything offensively. Very one-dimensional. It was more, though, like their defense. Obviously, Bosa's out, but they got bullied. They got absolutely bullied by the Packers. And Jordan Love he didn't throw an interception. Credit to him. He tried a couple times. He also had Christian Watson drop like one of the most perfect deep balls ever that would have, helped his stat line. But I was just shocked with how, like, I thought the Niners were going to fight a little bit more, and it felt like it just season from hell. Like this, I don't know where they go. Like they have to start winning. I mean, the NFC West, at least no one's out of it. But still, the Niners still have a schedule that's coming up that's like, it's not going to be easy. They have to go to Buffalo next week, and then they still have to play the Rams, Dolphins, Lions, and Cardinals to finish the season. They have the Bears in there, which they probably will win. You will definitely win.
Yeah,
that's what
I don't see the season turning around for them.
If they go, and I was thinking this like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when they were playing with their food and like even the Bucs game where. That was when I was like, this is off a bye, and they should have dominated a lot more. I was like, there's some red flags going on. But with the schedule that they have going for the rest of the season, there's 6 games left. They're 5-6. I don't know. I mean, If they go 4-2, okay, they're 9-8 to finish the season. I mean, 4-2 would actually be pretty good with that schedule.
Yeah, and they might not even make the playoffs. I would say they wouldn't make the playoffs.
No, 9-8, 9-8 would not make the playoffs. So yeah, maybe it's just season from hell. And then for the Packers, I'm starting to get nervous because they were flying around, and I know it was Brandon Allen, but still, Xavier McKinney had his 7th interception. I am officially on. I'm nervous. Watch. I'm nervous that they're going to make a run.
Yeah, the Packers are legitimately good. They're a good team.
Packers fans know me well enough that I start to change my tone when I start to get really nervous. I don't make the same jokes. I'm more like holding my breath for the rest of the season, hoping that things go poorly for them, but knowing that they're better than, I mean, they're 8-3 and they're 3rd in the division, which just tells you how hard the NFC North is. But their defense was everywhere. Josh Jacobs is a beast. And Jordan Love is getting healthier. And again, I feel like he wanted to throw a couple interceptions, but he technically threw no interceptions.
Is Jordan Love a coward for not throwing any interceptions?
He tried. He tried a couple times. There was a couple big time drop interceptions. So he tried, but technically he did not throw an interception.
Yeah. So you know how I mentioned earlier that the Giants have 1 interception this season?
Yeah.
Xavier McKinney has
7. Yeah.
Yeah. He's tied for the most in the NFL. The Giants could use a guy like him.
Yeah. No, you mean the Niners. Oh, no, the Giants. Yes, the Giants who left, who he used to play for. Yes. Yes, I would agree.
Yeah. No, the Packers are just a very, very good football team. I don't know if they're NFC champion. I would not put them in the same class as your Lions or your Eagles. Mm-hmm. But I would say that they're kind of done a disservice by having to play in that division because if they were playing in like the NFC South,
yeah, it would be over. It would be wrapped up.
They would just smoke everyone.
Oh, please, Dolphins, do something crazy in cold weather. Do something different than we all expected. Save Thanksgiving. Beat the Packers on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, dude. But okay, so we were talking about the Dolphins earlier and how maybe since they aren't thought of as frauds this year, maybe this is a year where they can come and actually like be a little bit gritty.
Yeah.
I just thought about Mike McDaniel in freezing cold weather.
Yeah.
And now I can't believe him anymore.
Yeah.
I need to wipe that thought in my head.
No, it's just the teal uniforms. It's
Yeah.
not going to work.
Yeah, he's
Packers
probably going to be vaping on the sidelines again.
They're probably going to run the ball again down, like just run it. And then the Dolphins will be like, all right, we don't want to do this. Tyreek Hill is going to have like 17 layers underneath. Mm-hmm. He's going to have that neck warmer that he has.
Tyreek needs to warm up just like he does like all his Instagram training videos in the summertime. Like the smallest shorts possible, no shirt, out on the field at Lambeau.
But that Tyreek Hill proves that it's the jerseys. Because he played in cold weather games for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And he was really good in cold weather games for the Chiefs. But then you put on the teal jerseys and you just can't. You just get extra cold.
Yeah. It's nothing's adding up in my mental image of this game. But I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I've been wrong before.
Yeah. Okay. Next game.
Oh, the Niners were perfect in the red zone today.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
So that they fixed that.
They fix
it.
So you can only fix one thing at a time, then something else breaks.
Yeah.
Now you got to go fix that.
And they only got there once, and they're perfect.
Yep.
Okay, Broncos 29, Raiders 19. Bo Nix is awesome. And he is on a tear. His last 3 games, he's 8 touchdowns, 0 picks. If you take out, so the first 2 weeks of the season, Bo Nix's first 2 starts in the NFL, he had 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Since then, he's 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Sean Payton just has him playing like Drew Brees football in that he is just accurate and he's just making the right throws. And Cortland Sutton is one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. He's gotten healthy, and he's been awesome. He had 2 touchdowns today. The last 5 games, he had 36 catches, 467 yards, and 3 TDs.
He's everything that they were hoping that Jerry Jeudy would have been.
Yeah, but the big question in this game is, and I know you have the answer, Shedeur Sanders.
Yes.
Did he tweet?
Shedeur Sanders did, in fact, tweet today that God is great.
Okay.
After the Raiders. Well, actually, let me switch this up a little bit. He tweeted it today on the same day that the Raiders lost.
So he tweeted it probably after going to church.
People are saying he actually posted it after the Giants lost.
Oh.
Because he posted it early. Either he knew before kickoff that the Raiders were already going to lose this game, and he posted early, or he's trying to go to the Giants and was happy that they lost. So we'll never know. Or he could just might be going to church.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to church. Man, what we really need. Friday we're gonna find out.
Oh, they're playing Black Friday.
They're playing Black Friday.
Yeah, you're gonna go to church on Friday?
If he does God is great on Black Friday, then it's clearly yes.
Then
okay,
he wants to be a Raider.
Because we also are gonna maybe get. I think we're getting Desmond Ridder. So Gardner Minshew, I think, broke his collarbone. Aiden O'Connell, I might be back from IR, but he broke his thumb.
Just give us someone new.
It's so bad for the Raiders now. That's so depressing.
Really, all the Raiders can do for us is just start a new quarterback every game.
Yeah.
Just like sign a guy off the street and let that guy start that week just to keep us interested. But as for Bo Nix, the last 10 games, you talked about taking out the first 2 games and how great his stats would be. If you take into account all of his touchdowns, he's got 20 touchdowns and only 2 turnovers since the start of week 3.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He is playing like the rookie of the year right now. They're also 8-3 against the spread.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
They're not getting the respect.
I've been
betting on them. I hope they don't get more respect. I hope they keep making the lines, this was under a touchdown.
Did you see Crazy Bo?
What?
Crazy Eyes?
Oh yeah, he doesn't care. He'll fight anyone.
Crazy Eyes Bo. Crazy Bo Nix has been unlocked. He stared down. Who was it on the Raiders that he stared down? Defensive lineman?
I don't know who it was.
You could see all the whites of his eyes. Looked absolutely nuts. I'm doing shots of Ozempic, lines of Bocaine.
Mm-hmm.
I am all in on Bo Nix.
He's been awesome.
Yes, he's great.
And Sean Payton knows how to coach.
Yep.
We probably it turns out he just needed his guy and not Russell Wilson.
I like how when Bo Nix hit with the crazy eyes, the ref stepped in to make sure that the Raiders player was okay.
Yeah, he was like, hey, those eyes, those are kind of illegal.
Did that hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little too much. Was that Torbert?
That was Torbert.
That was Torbert.
Old Ron Torbert.
Torbert get in there being like, hey, guys, come on. This is too much. Don't look at each other like this.
So I saw this take online. I love this take because I want to hear your thought about it. It's from Vic Lombardi.
Okay.
And anytime somebody with the last name says something about football,
it's football.
I believe them, even if they're not related to Vince Lombardi.
Yeah.
Okay. He says, I know this is a very irrational tweet, but I have to say it. It bothers me so much when I see neighbors merrily walking around the neighborhood during an important Broncos game. They just gallivant about town with no care in the world about watching the local NFL team play football. How does this happen? What has my community become? Why does this make me angry? Am I alone in my misery?
Oh.
I think he's 100% right.
Well, he's 100% right, but in the neighbor's defense, the Broncos have not been good for a while. So this was the first time that the Broncos won at the Raiders, both in Las Vegas and obviously in Oakland, since Peyton Manning was playing for the Broncos.
Yeah.
So 2015, that's how long it's been since they won a road game against the Raiders. I think it's basically by the time Christmas. Actually, you know what? Next season, if it happens next season, like you have a season to realize, like, hey, you got an awesome young quarterback. Because we're not talking about football fans. We're talking about the casual football fans. But casual football fans, once they realize that Bo Nix is there, they need to get their ass inside.
They need to know that Bo Nix is there immediately, though.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, we say it all the time. Like, what do people do that don't watch football on Sunday? Like, they gallivant around town. They just remember we went to that dinner and we sat next to who's the guy? I can't remember, his name is escaping me. The guy who wrote the music for Succession.
Oh yeah.
And I asked him straight up. I was like, "Hey, not to like get too personal, but like I was like, do you watch football?" He's like, "No." I was like, "So what do you do on Sundays?"
He hangs out with his family.
He was like, I'll take like a walk like in Central Park.
Yeah.
I'll do like shopping, get the laundry done. I'm like, holy shit. I basically was talking to an alien. I was like, that's so fascinating.
I just love the idea of somebody getting mad and thinking that somebody's gallivanting around because they're not watching football. Like, I get it. I completely understand that mentality too. But I think what we have to do is just encourage, if you're a fan of the Denver Broncos, if you're a listener, part of my take, you live in Denver, tell a friend.
Well, they're not gallivanting around if they're listening to this show.
Tell a friend. Go tell a friend.
Yes.
Like about Bo Nix.
Let them know that they're missing out on possible Rookie of the Year.
If everybody in Denver that's listening to us right now goes out and tells 2 friends, hey, Bo Nix is fun, you should watch him.
Yeah.
And then they tell 2 friends, then within like 3 chains of that, I think the entire city of Denver will be listening and watching Broncos games on Sundays
Yeah.
instead of gallivanting around without a care in the world.
It would piss me off too, especially when Bo Nix is playing like he's playing. 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the last 3 games. Guy's on fire. I think the Broncos are going to find a way to get in the playoffs looking at their schedule. As for the Raiders, so we like Antonio Pierce. We had him on the show. I like his existence in the football ecosystem, but this feels bad. 7 losses in a row. And so the Raiders credit, like, they actually played the Broncos pretty evenly. They just had turnovers.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at yardage, if you look at first downs, like, the Raiders were able to move the ball. They just had the costly turnovers that changed the game.
I would just like to go back to the Raiders offseason and point to the fact that it seems like they didn't really have a plan of how they were going to win football games this year. And that's kind of what you need to do in the NFL is you have to have a plan of what our team's going to be. And that plan, generally speaking, shouldn't be AOC or Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, or Desmond Ritter. Yeah.
If Desmond Ritter is included in your plan, it's a bad plan.
So who's going to get Shador? So the Raiders, I believe, I don't think they have. I think they play the Jaguars, but other than that, I don't know if there's another win on this guy. The Raiders beat the Ravens. I kind of like the Ravens winning the Super Bowl would be very funny. Just to be like the Raiders beat the Ravens. Yeah, they don't have a lot of wins left other than the Jaguars game. So if they end up winning no more games, I think they would get the 3rd pick, depending on what happens. Oh, no, I guess they would get at least the 2nd pick if they lost to the Jaguars. And the Giants might not win a game as well. Shador?
So it feels to me like
Shador and Dion?
Well, so the Dion would look awesome on the sidelines of Vegas.
Colorado did just get a big recruit.
That's what I'm saying.
A QB.
Unless Dion was like, hey, I'm going to stick around, and then he leaves and brings his luggage with him, and it's Gucci.
It's Louis.
Or whatever. Louis.
Yeah, it's Louis.
I don't think that's going to happen. But he could.
It also, I know that he only owns, 5% of the team, but does feel like Tom Brady doesn't strike me as a guy who buys a piece of the Raiders and is cool with them just losing.
And knowing how much Tom Brady absolutely hates the Super Bowls that he lost, there's a chance that Tom Brady bought part of the Raiders just so he could fire Antonio Pierce.
Mm-hmm. True.
Right?
True.
Hank? Would you respect that move?
Kind of.
I kind of would. You have to respect it.
I mean, more.
He tried to buy the Chiefs to fire Spags,
Yeah.
but he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
They won't let the Hunts won't sell it to me.
Could you in theory, like Elon,
Bench Mahomes and fire Spags.
Yeah, like in theory, if
I could see that being more of like a Rocky 3 situation where he's like, meet me on the 50-yard line, no cameras, 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Hypothetically,
We'll settle this.
if Elon Musk gave Tom Brady $50 billion, could he buy the Eagles and then just close the team?
Probably.
There's no animosity with the Eagles.
No, he hates Nick Foles though, right?
Yeah, but they did
Won't even say his name.
They did beat the Eagles. Yeah, they're 1-1.
It's 1-1.
Okay,
It's the Giants.
It's the Giants. So could he buy the Giants and then shut the team down?
In theory.
Buy ESPN and fire the Manning cast.
Yeah,
That would be funny.
he could buy the NFL
Yeah.
and shut down every team except for the Patriots, and then put Robert Kraft into the Hall of Fame.
That'd be nice. That'd be a good gesture.
Petty.
Also, I want to clear something up because memes thought that Hank and I actually hated each other because we were sitting in different rooms a second ago.
Oh, you do?
I don't hate Hank. I actually want to thank you, Hank.
Oh, you're welcome.
I want to thank you because now I have a very clear Super Bowl, and my Super Bowl this year is just making the playoffs, and I got something to fight against.
That's good.
Yeah.
So it's good. This
You
is
got
good.
something to wake up every morning.
Every day. I'm gonna wake up. It's gonna be Thanksgiving week. I'm just gonna be thinking about Hank's face every morning. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Just make the playoffs. So I don't care what the end of the season record is. If we make the playoffs, to me, that is a massive success in my book.
That's huge.
yeah.
That is my Super Bowl.
Good luck. Okay, last game in the afternoon, and then we will have Max on to talk about the Eagles thrashing the Rams. Seahawks 16, Cardinals 6. This was gross in the fact that offensively, I thought it was going to be a shootout, and it was not because the Seahawks defense is really, really good. And Mike McDonald, he's got them. This is what we saw last year with the Ravens, and now he's got them playing the way he wants them to play. They were all over Kyler Murray, sacked him 5 times. James Conner had 7 rushes for 8 yards.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals could not run the ball whatsoever. They had 14 carries for 49 yards total. And, the Seahawks now are top of the NFC West, just like we all thought.
Yeah, so every time that you think the Seahawks are dead, they end up winning.
Well,
that's
because
kind of how they are.
Yeah, it's because Geno tries to kill them.
Yeah.
Geno threw another interception in the end zone. That's his 3rd of the season. But I think the Seahawks defense is getting to a point where they might be Geno proof.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can, and I mean, Geno can still like sling it, and he has moments, but he also has moments where shit goes bad, and now their defense could pick him up. And Jackson Smith-Njigba Baba Booey was awesome.
You still messed that up.
Yeah, no, I know.
Try it again.
Jackson Smith-Njigba Booey. I don't know how to do it.
Najig Baba Booey.
Njigba Booey.
There you go.
Yeah. He's awesome. And, the Seahawks are top of the NFC West.
Yeah, their defense is great. Kobe Bryant did the hold my dick when he jumped in the end zone.
Marshawn.
Things have changed so much in the NFL where, like a decade ago, Roger Goodell would try to suspend you for doing that. Now team accounts are just like posting close-ups of their players doing the hold my dick, which I love. I think it's good. This is good that we're doing that. We're celebrating it. And the Seahawks, first place in the NFC West.
It's a mess in the NFC West.
And they play the Jets next, right?
Yeah. Who they might be.
And then the Cards have the Vikings.
Ooh, if the Jets win that game, could they run the table, memes?
It's a big game for the Jets.
Huge game for the Jets.
In theory.
That's what I like to hear.
I'm happy that it came out that Aaron Rodgers has so many injuries he doesn't want to get scans to tell him how many injuries he has, but he's gutting it out.
That's HIPAA.
Yeah.
It's a HIPAA violation for asking him to do scans.
Yeah. You got to love that, memes.
He's got 2 years left. I understand the athlete not wanting to come out of the game and being like, I only have a certain amount of games left, but just sit a couple games out so we win some games.
I think he might just be afraid of going to the doctors. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
Like, they don't like doctors. You don't like doctors looking at you and prodding you. You know, like, Blake doesn't like going to the vet. I get it. I think that's exactly what Aaron's going through.
I got a physical on Friday. Actually went pretty well. Also really pathetic because, like, all the things that you joke about with, like, a physical, like, the doctor was like, how many drinks do you have a week? And I was like, 0. He's like, we ask everyone, do you need an STD test? I was like, nope. Like, I was the biggest loser ever. He's like, do you do drugs? And I was like, used to. Not anymore. Don't do shit. So maybe he shouldn't be afraid anymore. Because once you get older, going to the doctor is actually like, you should do it. Because remember when you're in your 20s and the doctor's like, how many drinks you have? You're like, 5.
So I had a doctor's appointment like 3 weeks ago, and they asked me the alcohol question. And I said, okay, so I want to be honest with you. I would lie about this if this was a long time ago, but I'm just going to tell you the truth now so you don't have to do the math. You don't have to do the, like, take whatever number of beers I say per week and multiply it by 3. I'm just going to be honest with you. And then he was like, okay. And then I told him the amount, and then he, like, silently multiplied it by 3 in his head. I was like, stop doing that. You don't have to do the math.
I was just in such a bad spot of feeling like such a loser to my doctor that when he was like, do you do drugs? Like, no. I was like, but I used to, cocaine, mushrooms. I, like, started listing shit, and he's like, okay, but you don't? And I was like, no.
No, but let me tell you about this one time.
Like, but I used to do it, dude. I swear to God.
It'd be very funny if you lied to your doctor to feel more cool.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
You're like, can I actually, why don't you just give me an STD test just in case?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, it's brutal. Seahawks Cardinals, though. Yeah, that game stunk.
Yeah, bad game.
Bad game.
Bad bird fight.
Kyler Murray looked very short today.
He did in the
when
all whites.
When he gets sacked like that, he just looks so short.
In the all whites. Was it Witherspoon that was able to chase him down a couple times?
Yeah.
I love watching Witherspoon.
Yeah, it was a tough game to watch. But that's the problem with the 3 games in the afternoon. They're doing it to us again on Sunday.
How dare they?
How dare they? Yeah, Sunday's the weird where, we have 4 games on Thursday and Friday. So you'd think with no buys we were going to have the, like, full Sunday, but we don't.
Yeah.
We don't. We have just a regular old Sunday.
Black Friday is so unnecessary.
I agree, Hank. Thank you.
So unnecessary.
Listen.
So unnecessary.
Yeah, the NFL it's the old meme of like the United States government being like, we're gonna fight 3 wars and we're gonna fund 7 regimes in South America. We're like, we just want healthcare.
Right.
And this, it's like, we just give me 4 games in the afternoon, and the NFL is like, well, we're gonna have a game in Germany, we're gonna have 3 to 4 games in Europe, we're gonna have one in Brazil and one in Mexico and one on Black Friday. Just give us one more game on Sunday afternoon.
So if 3 games suck, we're not stuck watching them.
Please.
Yeah, that's all we ask. Okay, we're gonna finish up with Max
Why do I only see one game in the afternoon?
on next Sunday.
Yeah. Bucs, Panthers.
No, Bucs, Panthers, Rams, Saints, Eagles, Ravens.
Oh, okay. So the Eagles game isn't listed because that just ended.
Yeah.
And Ravens is tomorrow.
And Rams, Saints isn't listed because it just ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we have 3 games in the afternoon. Steelers, Bengals will be good. Reminder to everyone, we don't have a show on Friday this week. We have one on Wednesday. It's going to be extra long. We're going to tell you when you can stop if you have to work on Friday. But a preview is I'm very nervous about how bad the Bears are going to lose on Thursday to set the tone for Thanksgiving. It's an early tone setter.
Also, Fred Smoot.
Yeah, Fred Smoot.
Awesome.
Was an awesome interview. Yeah, we have a great show coming for you Wednesday. All right, before we get to Max, who's going to join us, he's already back in Philly and talk about the Sunday Night Football game. We're brought to you by our friends at Kraken. Today's show is brought to you by Kraken. You know, I see a lot of similarities between sports and crypto. You have passionate supporters that believe in their favorite crypto assets like their sports teams, Team Bitcoin, Team Ethereum, maybe even Team whatever dog coin is going 10x next week. Who knows? But underneath it all is a shared belief that crypto is one of the best opportunities to achieve financial autonomy and financial freedom. And that's what Kraken's all about. Secure and simple access to over 200 cryptocurrencies. Kraken's also got flawless track record in protecting assets with some of the strongest crypto security features around. And not only is Kraken a leader in security, they cater to all experience levels of trader, as well as the Kraken app. You've got Kraken Pro, a full suite of powerful tools built for the more seasoned traders out there. Whatever kind of trading strategy you use, Kraken Pro handles it with ease. And right now, Barstool is teaming up with Kraken to give you the chance to win one whole Bitcoin. That's right, one entire Bitcoin. All you got to do is go to kraken.com/Barstool and guess what the price of the Bitcoin will be on January 3rd, 2025, as shown on Kraken. You have until December 13th of this year to submit your prediction. Head to kraken.com/Barstool now to submit your guess. Terms and conditions apply, not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine, through Payward Interactive Inc. We're also brought to you by our friends at Amazon. Black Friday football is on, and it's only on Prime Video this Friday. The Las Vegas Raiders take on the Kansas City Chiefs, an old-school rivalry for a new game day. Join Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, and Kaylee Hartung for this exciting matchup. We're excited. We got Patrick Mahomes. Anytime Patrick Mahomes is in a game, we're pumped. Coverage begins at 1:30 Eastern with kickoff at 3 p.m.
They beat him last year, remember?
They beat him last year on Christmas. Not a Prime member, not a problem.
The Chiefs have a Desmond Ridder problem.
Yep. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial, and you can cancel at any time. It's Black Friday football, the Raiders and Chiefs at 1:30 Eastern. It's on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. Okay, Sunday Night Football. Eagles kicked the shit out of the Rams, and our guy Max, he's back in Philly. Is he going? Where's he going?
Bathroom.
Where's he going? Is he going to the bathroom?
Yeah,
he forgot to wipe his ass. He definitely forgot to wipe his ass.
He's got to poop again.
What happened?
Mom was just crawling on the floor behind me, trying to get her phone that she left in this room. Like literally army crawling. 65-year-old woman army crawling beneath me.
All right, Max. That was a shit kicking. The Eagles are really fucking good.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, that is abundantly clear at this point. They're just kicking the shit out of everybody. Saquon Barkley deserves to be in the MVP conversation.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
He's incredible.
I was told he was nothing more than a Twitter running back.
I was also told that. I actually was told not to draft him in the first or second round of my fantasy drafts.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
QB 16 because he had only gone over 1,005 yards once in his
I think it was
entire
like
career.
twice in the last 4 years.
No, it was once in his career, 1,005 yards.
Yeah.
So-
Not 1,000, 1,005.
Yeah. No, Saquon 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's insane. He just can't. As soon as he gets a little bit of space, you can't bring him down. He was just breaking people down. Jalen Hurts, no turnovers again. So what's stopping you guys from just winning the whole goddamn thing, Max?
Yeah, no, I think everyone's been anointing the Lions the winners of the NFC. I would like to know what makes the Lions so much better than the Eagles at this point.
Okay.
You can say coaching, other than coaching.
Yeah, that was going to be
What unit is better than the Eagles?
That was going to be my one thing was the end of the first half today. And we're nitpicking right now because the Eagles are so good. But they still had that one moment where you're like, what is Nick Sirianni thinking right now?
Even then, I didn't really the aggressiveness is not like that big of a deal. Trust your defense not to give up a Hail Mary to end the half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People were mad that we weren't streaming. You're back for Thanksgiving, and they would have been even more mad if we did stream because it was
So boring.
it was the perfect game for the Eagles.
Yeah.
It was never. You guys were like maybe a little sweat when you were down 7-3, and then it was just nothing.
Yeah, the first 2 drives were like, all right, this is a different offense. We gotta play this a little bit differently than we have been playing against past defenses. I'm frozen.
I like to think he's just in deep contemplation.
He was frozen. Frozen. We'll keep that in.
Am I still frozen?
Yeah, the first 2
back?
drives. Yeah.
The first 2 drives were a little scary because it was like, all right, this Rams offense is a little bit different than the past teams that we've been playing. But then the defense settled in, and it was like right back to where we were, like looking like with the best unit in football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Max, you weren't with us this Sunday. Do you have any questions for anyone about their games or anything that happened Sunday?
All I know is that the Eagles went up 3 games in the division. I mean, I had some family stuff going on, so I didn't get to watch every game, but apparently we're up 3 games in the loss column. Is that true?
It's true.
Oh.
Do you have any other takes about it?
No, I just didn't really know. I know that there was a missed kick, and was there? Can you elaborate on anything or no?
Yeah, Hank was a bitch.
Hank.
Yeah, that's you missed that.
What is a bitch?
Yeah,
Hank existed.
I feel like he's probably just existing.
No. Well, maybe you know what? I've kind of come around to it. It is Hank can't exist because his entire existence is being a troll. So anytime he's existing, you have every right to be mad at him. Max, would you say
Max
that
was here when you ran that material last week.
What?
Max heard you do that bit.
What bit?
2 days ago.
What bit?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I live my life as a troll. Yada yada yada.
Well, yeah, that was all.
So you're doing it again.
True. Yeah, that all true. But Max, do you have any questions about anyone in the cave or how we acted?
No, I have one more thing.
Yeah.
I remember when we did our preview, we were like, the Commanders need to crush the Cowboys.
Yeah, we did say
and
that.
back.
Yeah, I agree.
Did they crush the Cowboys?
No, listen, Max. Here's the thing. We lost to the Cowboys today.
Oh.
And you're right. There was a missed kick at the
back?
end. There was a missed kick at the end, but it never should have even come down to that because the Cowboys just beat us previously in that game. So we were lucky to even be back in it at the end. And it took a whole lot of luck and weird shit to let us get back to that point. But we were so bad for the previous 3 3/4 of a quarter that it's not about the missed kick. It's just about the team not being very good.
Would you have gone for 2, Max, in that situation?
Say it again.
Would you have gone for 2 in that situation?
I don't know. I heard that the guy missed a kick earlier in the game, so maybe I would have gone for 2.
Several kicks.
What's going on with NFL kickers, Hank?
I know.
I personally also would have gone for 2 in that situation, but that's just me.
With hindsight being 2020, I would have also gone
Exactly.
for 2.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't say it in the moment. I was perfectly happy kicking the extra point in the moment, but now that I've had time to collect my thoughts, I would have rather gone for 2 than missed that kick.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Is this also Commanders related?
It might be.
Okay.
the Hail Mary at the end of game.
Mm-hmm.
Are we counting that interception or?
I think you have to.
Yeah, the interception counts.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it counts
because you count the
even though it was just like a throw, like a Hail Mary.
No,
it counts.
You got to count the interception because you counted the touchdown Hail Mary.
Oh,
it counts. So Max, at the end of the game, ideally you'd like to have your quarterback.
I didn't watch the game, but
be able to throw the ball far enough on the Hail Mary that it could be picked off by a defender down at the goal line.
Got it.
It did not get to the end zone.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. That's like basically a win.
Pretty much.
What? It not getting to the end zone?
Yeah, no.
Well, what happened was he threw it perfectly to Luke McCaffrey, who batted it back, and that was the play. That was the design of the play. Luke was short of the end zone. He tips it back, and then somebody intercepted it before it got to the end zone. So really, that's an interception on Luke McCaffrey. It counts on Luke McCaffrey's stats.
Okay. I will put that in my stats.
Okay. Max, you think that the Commanders are going to make the playoffs?
Yes.
My man, thank you.
But are we still... Where are we at? Where are we at on the NFC East?
I don't care about anything else except making the playoffs now.
Okay,
that's the only thing.
Jaden Daniels is still good, Max.
Yep.
Huh?
Jaden Daniels is still good.
Was that? Did you guys? Was that the consensus?
Yeah, he's still good. We didn't hear him. We didn't hear a lot of Jaden Daniels is so good today, but he is still very good.
Yeah. The counter of he is so good. How many were there?
It was low.
He had 6 drops.
It was low. It was low today. It was low.
6.
But he
is
throw
still
it
good.
and catch it, dude.
Yeah, come on, Max.
That's true. That's true.
No, there's a lot of concern. The level of concern in my personal area right now is high. I'm personally concerned about the Washington Commanders.
Okay,
we might be frauds. We might be the rare example of a team that went from absolutely no expectations whatsoever to being frauds in the span of 12 weeks.
So no more Soupy?
Well, yeah, that was
out the window. Soupy's been out the window for 3 weeks.
I think PFT handled himself very well, given the loss and how much that sucked. The only thing that I disagreed with was he did try at the end of our Commanders Cowboys. He was like, if you had told me back in August that we'd be 7-5, I would take it. I was like, you can't do that when you were 7-2.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna say all kinds of things to make myself feel better right now.
7-5 is not.
That's my copium that I got right now. It's all about perspective. You know what? I got to watch my favorite team play football with some of my best friends in the whole world. And
God is good.
I got a great job. I love the AWLs. I love all you guys. I love my life. I got a great dog. He's not sick anymore. His poops are solid. I got Thanksgiving coming up.
You got Hank?
Sir, I got Hank. I'm serving turkey to my mom on Thursday. Things are good.
Yeah.
Things are good. So really what happened in the Commanders game today against the Cowboys, ultimately I'm not going to look back on my deathbed and be like, damn, I really wish that we had beaten the Cowboys and then potentially won the NFC East and then made Hank really sad and then gone to the playoffs and maybe beaten the Eagles on the road on Wild Card weekend.
Mm-hmm. You know what it is looking like right now, though?
What?
Yeah.
7 versus 2 is looking more and more likely by the day.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Yeah. This is a real Sophie's choice of who Hank wants to see in more misery, me or Max.
Well, Hank.
I would rather. I would lose my future for that to be the case.
Oh wow, that's huge.
That's big.
That's big. That's
What's
big.
your future?
He bet 2 weeks ago Commanders to not make the playoffs plus 400. We found that out after.
Because he was doing his little smirks and his laughs during the game. I couldn't figure out why because he didn't bet against the Commanders today. But then he told me that he bet against them to make the playoffs. And, he did it silently.
PFT hasn't spoken to me off air.
Yeah. Memes thinks they're actually fighting. He's like worried that they're like, he's like end of the pod.
They were sitting in 2 different rooms before.
I love that.
Yeah. We never sit in different
more
rooms.
Controversy on this show.
Yeah.
Well, we had it.
We're going to have a closed door meeting and then someone's going to leak it.
Yeah. I had one last question for you, Max. The rowback question. RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. So it's been rowback.com, promo code TAKE. It's been, like a week since we had our discussion about what the Sixers need to do by Christmas. Have we made any progress? Have we won any games?
Have we found the snitch?
We won
That's
one
the
game.
most important
You
part.
won one game.
Yeah. Beat the Nets. Jared McCain went off.
Jared McCain, I can I say I'm a big Jared McCain fan.
he's the
I
best.
watched all his TikToks the other night. I know that people make fun of him for TikToks. The guy's just having fun.
I love how mad he makes people though.
Well, and he's also like he's having like it's. I like watching other people do things they like, and it's clear he likes doing them. So I'm a fan of Jared McCain. The fingernails thing, I don't know. I wouldn't really go for that, but everything else I'm in for.
I also just realized this mic was not working this entire time.
Oh, so you were just talking into
Yeah.
Good producing, Max.
Yep. Glad I got this.
Max, I have a question.
Is it now plugged in?
No, I don't even think I can do it midway.
Max, do you have any words for Jerry O'Connell, who was at the game tonight, rooting against
Yeah,
you?
a lot of green.
Yeah.
A whole lot of green.
Yeah.
I'm just still talking to this mic, even though
That's fine. Yeah.
It's doing nothing.
All right, so maybe get a couple more wins. We'll see you on next Sunday when you're back. Get a couple more wins for the Sixers.
Find that
I'm
snitch.
going to the game on Wednesday, so I'll be I'll be there in support.
Okay.
In person. I don't know what else.
Yeah, what else are you
struggling
saying
with my words there? It's okay.
Max, Hank wants to know if you found the snitch yet.
No, I'm not looking for him, but no.
Well, you probably can find him. He's at the end of the bench wearing, the Sixers like Q-zip yelling at all the players.
Who, the coach?
Yeah, that'd be Nick Nurse, elephant in the room.
Elephant in the room.
Okay. All right. We'll see you, Max. Good job. Good win. It would have been nice if we had more to make fun. You have all the power right now.
You defeated us today, Max.
Yeah.
Well done. Max was right. The room.
You have
He can't win in that room, but outside the room.
Yeah. You have the best team on the podcast, and it's not even close.
Memes may have won the bye. He didn't lose.
No, he did not win the bye.
No,
There's
we lost
so
the
many
bye.
Jets stories coming out.
And we
There's
went
so
down.
many.
We went down a percent in playoff.
Oh, you're
We're down
still
to 2.
looking at
That
that?
might be the dagger.
We're down to 2.
Who are you rooting against? The
I don't know,
Broncos?
the Broncos,
All
I
the
guess.
Commanders are currently at 60.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
I'm aware.
60.
I'm looking at it right now. 60. 60 is a lower number than I was expecting.
Oh,
I
no.
love
What
that.
were you expecting?
I don't know. They were just at like 80 2 weeks ago.
What are
4
the
to
Eagles?
1, pretty good value, wouldn't you say?
What do you think? Yeah, it's not bad value.
What are the
I love
Eagles?
that Max cares enough about the Commanders now that he's rent-free, Max. I'm rent-free in
No,
your head.
I'm caring less and less by the minute.
You didn't even watch the game.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you, Max.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye. Okay, let's finish up. We got Who's Back of the Week. It's brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. No matter what happens between your favorite rivals this week, you got a chance to win. Just go to the PMT Instagram and tell us how you prepare for a rivalry game with Coors Light for an opportunity to win the Coors Light rivalry shirt. 5 winners will be selected every Saturday until 12/7, December 7th. So remember, when rivalries get a little overheated, choose chill and keep things cool by reaching for the Mountain Cold Refreshment of Coors Light. Coors Light's Mountain Cold Refreshment literally made to chill. Coors Light's cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packages. It's crisp and refreshing as the Rockies. Perfect for a moment to unwind. Even the biggest rivals agree. When it's time to cool things down and enjoy the game, you choose chill and then reach for Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/take, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. That's CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Okay, who's back of the week? Hank. Who's back of the week? Hank.
My Who's Back of the Week is Super Leagues.
Oh,
okay.
What happened?
Super League. So this was a report from a Western Conference executive about the NBA.
Okay.
This Western Conference executive said he believes that the NBA could eliminate conferences altogether and have the top 16 teams make the playoffs when the league expands to 32 teams.
Okay, so Western
League.
Western Conference executive. If I'm reading into what Hank's saying, are we talking about A-Rod?
Instead, I don't know. That's not what I'm saying. That would be. I don't even. Is he an executive?
No, not really, because he doesn't own the majority, so he doesn't really. He doesn't get any say.
It's still
Yeah.
like, you would say that Tom Brady is a Raiders executive.
No, but this is like an insider. I don't think A-Rod's. He's an outsider. Kind of. He's a new insider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which usually means you're kind of an outsider.
Thank you for that. You
This
really
guy
broke
said,
that one down.
Instead of dealing with that thorny competition, West told ESPN, both issues can be corrected by dropping conferences altogether and seeding teams 1 through 16 regardless of geography. The concept has been raised before, but thinking goes would create a reason. The expansion would create a reason to take a fresh look.
Yeah, this would fucking suck.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't want this.
Why?
Yeah, because
I want you like winning your conference. Like, I don't know. There's like the teams that you play all year, getting to play them in the playoffs, fighting through them. Then I like the idea of like the finals, like the West and the East.
they're trying to turn everything into interleague.
Yeah,
And sometimes it's good to just have your rivalries. And then whoever wins that rivalry, then you have your other big rivalry.
would you want this in like baseball? Would you want this in like? I wouldn't want this in football. Like, you have your conference, the teams that you play more often.
I kind of like the idea. I mean, look. Everyone, poo-pooed the college football, and that worked.
No, who poo-pooed the college football?
Different divisions and
Yeah,
all
no,
that.
there were people, but for the most part, most fans I think were very much into.
Yeah, that's hindsight's 2020.
No, what are you talking about?
I think there were a couple of very loud voices against it, but like 90% of people are pumped to have a playoff.
That was also,
But the super conferences, SEC, Big Ten,
yeah.
people didn't like that.
Well, I mean, that you could still say that hasn't like worked out perfectly. I think you're talking about the college football playoff. No one's poo-pooed
So
that.
how would this be set up, Hank? Right now, what would be like the top teams that would play in the Super League?
The top 16.
Where would the Sixers be?
They would be at the very bottom.
Oh,
Okay. They'd play in the non-Super League.
I don't know, man. We don't have to change everything. I also don't like the NBA playoffs. Already a joke with the 10 teams. Like, that's stupid.
Did you see the Sixers graphic that they put up after the game today? So they lost to the Clippers.
Okay.
And look at the screen right now. Tell me what you see.
Anal.
Yeah.
99 anal 125.
It's supposed to be final in like an old school font. It literally just says anal.
Anal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not in for it. You like it, Hank?
I think it's an interesting idea. I do think the NBA might get like they get too cute with this stuff sometimes. Like,
yes.
I mean the Celtics court, I could not even watch them play the Wizards. They were playing on a red court and the ball is orange. Like, you can't even see the ball.
Okay.
Like, it's cute. Yeah, whatever. It makes it feel different. You could not see the ball in a game of basketball.
Let me put it this way, Hank. Okay. How awesome was it, or how awesome is it like when like the Celtics play the Sixers in the playoffs, right?
Right.
It's fun. You got a regional rivalry, all that stuff. If you do the Super League, it's like you might play the Kings.
Fuck them.
But I think you should have to play the teams that you play during the year to get out of your conference.
Yeah.
And
That's
like
fair.
the regional part of it is fun.
That's fair.
Because then you start to lose the hatred that you have towards your traditional rivals.
Right.
And hatred is a really, really good thing in
It's
sports.
true. Very true.
Like if your path to like the
But the
semifinals this year was like playing the Jazz and then playing the Kings, that wouldn't feel the same as playing the Knicks and the Sixers or the Heat, like who you have these long histories with.
Should then would you say that the NFL should just have all regional divisions?
But
they
do.
in theory
do.
they are.
The
Kind of.
NFC and AFC, like.
No, I know, but the divisions are regional. The conferences, you know what a division is.
I'm saying regional, like all the East would be.
There should be an NFL
region.
East and NFL West.
Yeah, you could
like
do
it's
that.
like regional, but it's like no.
Yeah, but it is
Every
with
region.
divisions.
but why?
It's somewhat regional, and the reason that
Yeah.
it still works is because, like, yes, the divisions evolve over the years, and you get people coming in and out occasionally, but you still have like years and years of constantly playing those teams twice, so it means more when you beat them and you are the kings of those divisions.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I would not vote for it probably, but I don't have a vote.
Also, isn't it good, like, if you go out to a bar and you're at a bar, you're way more likely to see a jersey from a team that is nearby to you, right? So you can then talk shit to that person. Whereas if your rival was, for example, the Utah Jazz, you would never see a Utah Jazz fan in person ever.
Yeah.
And that would be a bummer.
Here's the thing, NBA, instead of like trying to like change everything and gamify it, just, work on things that will just make the game better. like fouls and how it's officiated and shit like that.
Yeah, flops.
Like that's a easier fix than doing a big splashy. Oh, we got a new way to do. It just feels like the NBA, and this could be just a rumor, but still, it does feel like the NBA is a little desperate sometimes to be like, we got to be the new innovative league. I don't know. I like what I like.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with it too much.
Adam Silver, stop getting all your ideas from Reddit.
Seriously. Okay, PFT.
My Who's Back of the Week is Dynasties.
Oh, yeah?
Dynasties are back. The Kansas State crop judging team just won their 3rd in a row national championship. That means 13 out of the last 15, 21 out of the last 25 have gone to Kansas State.
Wow.
Every man a Wildcat. This is what excellence looks like. I have no idea what crop judging entails.
I thought you said crop dusting at first.
Crop judging, looking at crops.
Yeah.
Maybe even seeds. And then being like, this is a good crop. And
how
then
many teams
somebody's
are they
like,
competing
good job.
against?
Doesn't matter. To me, all I care about is excellence. And
They have it.
the standard is the standard at Kansas State. And they've done it again. I love a good dynasty. It's like Kansas State crop judging, Texas Tech meat judging.
Yep.
Right there, the barbecue, they're the meat people. That's just excellence. I appreciate excellence out of the Big 12.
Yeah.
And so shout out to Kansas State. I'm sure they'll win another one next year. I don't know what happened in 2021, 2022 when somebody else won. Don't care. Don't want to revisit that.
Yeah.
But they're back on the right track with that program, and I'm very proud of the boys and girls at Kansas State.
I'd shout out Kansas State. Okay, my Who's Back of the Week is Feast Week. One of my favorite gambling weeks of the year. College basketball tournaments everywhere. We've already started one. Wisconsin won the Greenbrier championship. No big deal. Print the shirts. They would look like they were playing in an elementary gym, which was very funny. And our darling Jake is calling some Feast Week games. So he's going to be on CBS Sports. He's calling the what is it? What is the tournament he's calling? I think it's the Oceans. What is the tournament called?
Let's see.
I know there's Penn State, Fordham, Clemson, San Francisco, big games. So check them out. It's starting today. So please watch it. Support our guy Jake. He is living his dream. The more people who watch it, the better it is for Jake. So you're gonna bet the games anyway. So you got to watch it. It is the Ocean Center. I love all these tournaments. I don't give a fuck what it's called. I love all these tournaments. He's calling it CBS Sports. Starts at, what time did he say it starts? I believe it is 4 o'clock Eastern, CBS Sports Network. Listen to Jake. What is it called, Memes? You got it? What's it called? Give us a tournament name.
Pug.
Pug's
been crushing.
The Pug
Seton
Classic.
Hall.
The Sunshine Slam. There it is.
Love
okay,
that.
the Sunshine Slam.
I got Penn State.
I'm going to go Clemson.
I'm gonna go San Francisco.
I wish Jake was
Bill
here
Walton.
right now because
Bill Russell.
I'd be dunking on Jake right now because he definitely wouldn't have had the Badgers in the tournament this year in his bracketology. And little fun fact for you, there are 15 Division I men's college basketball teams that have won a game versus a team ranked inside the Ken Pom top 25. There's only one that's done it twice, and that's the Badgers. No big deal. It's not like I'm deflecting because we lost to Nebraska, who hasn't been to a bowl game in 10 years.
Got the field rushed on you.
Well, they haven't won a bowl game in fucking 10 years. Or they haven't been to a bowl game. They deserve it. They needed it.
Compton farted in your face.
Yeah, he did multiple times. His daughter's face, really. But yeah, Feast Week's the best. Maui, everything. I'm going to bet it all. I'm so excited for Feast Week. Also, we're going to have to talk about college football on Wednesday, but holy fuck, what a Saturday.
It was crazy. Absolute insanity.
I mean, it was
Doomsday for the SEC.
It was essentially all the SEC, Russillo, people who carry the SEC's water were like, haha, we were right about Indiana. And then every argument they made just blew up after Ole Miss, Alabama, and Texas A&M all fell flat on their face.
To the point now where Indiana might be back in it.
Oh, no, they're definitely back in it. I will fight for them. I will fucking fight. If you find someone online who's saying Indiana should not be in the college football playoff, tag me. Snitch tag them. I want to fight them.
I just love
on the streets of the internet.
I love the idea that they high-stepped over that loss, and then all their precious darlings blew up. And it, to me, just comes down, don't put a team in that has that number 3 in the loss column.
Correct.
I don't want to see the -3 on a playoff team in college football.
Don't lose to Auburn. Don't lose to Florida. I know I know Florida's playing a lot better, and Auburn is just basically a house of horrors where you just go and you lose big games late in the season.
Florida is
No, DJ Lagway's been awesome, but
really good team right now.
But don't lose to Kentucky at home.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. What are you going to say? Also, Alabama, don't lose to Oklahoma.
Don't lose to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, a team loses in the SEC championship that has 3 losses.
Georgia's out of this entire conversation because Georgia actually, like what every SEC fan keeps saying, whether it be Texas, who's played nobody, Alabama, who just lost to Oklahoma, Georgia is actually who they're talking about because Georgia has played an incredibly difficult schedule.
Yeah, they have the hardest
in the country. And they played all their hard games on the road, and they played Clemson in the non-conference, who Clemson might even get back in the college football playoff. Like, it's crazy. So Georgia is the exception to me. Georgia has played the hardest schedule possible.
I think maybe if your third loss is in the championship game for your conference, that might be a gray area to me. But I don't want to see the -3.
The real chaos that could happen is
Big 12.
No, Big 12 already is chaotic.
Yeah.
Texas A&M beating Texas. Texas A&M would be in the SEC championship game. Texas A&M winning the SEC championship game, getting in, and then what happens to everyone else? They'd automatically be in because it's the championship winner, and then it's like, what happens after that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm rooting for at this point. But yeah, Alabama. Whew. All right. Numbers.
36.
Remember, no show Friday. Extra long show Wednesday with a couple guests, weekend preview, college football. We're going to talk about it all.
Memes, you're going to go with 19 today.
I'm going to go with 3.
You're going to go with 5.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that's the number he wanted to pick.
That's my system play.
Well,
I got a bad system.
What'd you give Memes?
19.
Pug, quick. Pug, any other talk to Blake Bortles?
I have not yet.
Shoot him a happy Thanksgiving on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Pug, you need to pardon Turkey.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving as president.
I pardon Turkey.
Okay. All right, there you go. Good job.
Pug.
What's your number?
94. Pug.
7.
Oh, pretty close.
7.
Love you guys.